Welcome back. This is the story about what if Naruto had chakra molding abilities, which he could use to turn his chakra into anything. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's begin. Aku yet again woke up feeling more comfortable than she has been in a while and sighed happily. Maybe I should make this a regular thing. I mean, I doubt I can sleep by myself now that I figured out how comfortable this is. I mean, technically I should have realized when Hinata helped me comfort him a bit back, but I was too worried about him to realize this. Aku thought with a smile until she remembered how upset he got. Still, she put that behind herself and used all her willpower to make her leave her comfortable position in order to make sure that she was the one who did the cooking today and actually have him present to eat it with her. About a half hour later, Naruto finally woke up and realized that Haku left and was momentarily confused until he smelt what had to be a delicious meal and quickly got dressed to see what obviously Haku had prepared. When he finally reached the table, he was quite happy to see that he was right and she was just finishing filling pâtés for both of them. Of course, he also couldn't help but notice the fact that her clothing seemed to cling just a bit more to her than usual, and also the fact that she had clearly wet hair, showing she must have taken a shower before he woke up as well. "Good morning, Haku. Hi, and thank you for the meal," Naruto said happily before sitting down and enjoying the first few bites, much to Haku's pleasure. "You know, I don't know how I ever lived without you. I mean, whatever I make is terrible, but whatever you make turns into something nearly as good as ramen," Naruto admitted to the girl, then went right back to eating, not noticing that she was clearly overjoyed to hear that her master appreciated her work. "Thank you, Naruto-sama. I aim to please you as much as possible," he told him happily, then began to eat as well. I wonder what I should do today," Haku thinks, trying to figure out, then looked over to Naruto. "You know, I still don't know what Naruto's life was like before he met me. Maybe I should try and get some information on that as well, especially seeing as he seems to hide things at times," Haku thought to herself, seeing as she noticed that every now and then Naruto seemed to hold himself back from doing something, which was especially bad when there was something upsetting involved. So, with that in mind, she calmly finished her meal and left to go to the best information center on Naruto she knew of currently. The Hyuga clan compound. Aku calmly walked up to the main gate where she was stopped by two clan members. "State your business here," one of them ordered her in the neutral voice the Hyugas are known for, while slightly tensing up just in case they needed to fight. "I am here to see Hinata-san," Haku told the duo, not surprised in the slightest that they were acting this way, even as they both looked at each other and seemed to have a silent conversation with each other. "Wait here, I will go speak with Hinata-sama," one of them told her, then quickly left to find her while Haku waited patiently. But soon enough she heard the other guard return and quickly let her in and showed her where Hinata was, and found the girl sitting in a training room with a bit of food and her sister nearby in a similar matter. "Hello, Hinata, I am sorry if I caught you two in the middle of training," Haku apologized quickly. "No, it is fine, Haku, we just finished our morning training and we're just getting a small breakfast in. Now, why did you come to see me today?" Hinata asked her now partial friend. For after she didn't need to worry about Haku taking Naruto away from her, she began to actually talk to the girl on kinder terms and actually was beginning to form a good friendship with her. They just weren't completely there yet. "Well, I was actually curious about what Naruto-sama's life was like before I met him, and you seem to be the most knowledgeable about him," Haku told her, and watched as Hinata's smile turned into a small frown. "Well, Naruto-kun's life wasn't all that good. For before we realized the reason just a little while ago, I had no idea why, but before he got his bloodline a lot of people hated him. They basically tortured him for things that he didn't do and made his life miserable. Meanwhile, I had to watch it all, seeing as whenever I tried to help him, my guards either refused to help protect him or he simply refused to accept any help I gave him out in public. I don't think he liked a lot of people during that time either, thanks to that." She began, still with her frown, and watched as Haku's face began to have the same frown. "You're wrong." "What?" "He didn't refuse your help because he didn't like you, but because when people hate you a lot they will go after even the people that try and help the hated one. Trust me, I know," Haku told the girl, remembering her own childhood before Zabuza found her. For before he did, an older man tried to help her by giving her a home and a grandfather figure that even gave her enough food to survive. But soon enough she accidentally used her ice bloodline yet again and someone saw. So, rather than going after her again, they first went after the old man, forcing her to watch as he was punished for helping a demon child. It truly was one of the worst memories she had of her life. Okay, I guess that makes sense," Hinata responded, partially confused but a bit happier. "Now after a while all of us went into school where, while he always seemed to be doing something to get attention from our teacher, who was one of the few people who gave him the time of day but also seemed to partially listen. Still, in every test he was one of the worst scoring, but never seemed to be that surprised by this fact. It almost seemed like he knew something about why it happened other than his study habits, and did nothing to fix it. Anyways, after a while he quickly began to prank a lot of people around the village. In fact, he even managed to prank a lot of the more regal members of our clan in pranks that made them look like fools for a while. Hinata told the girl with a smile as she remembered the clan's reaction to some of the pranks. I still remember how mad Dad got at what has to be one of the bravest men in the village. Hanabi added in, surprising her sister, seeing as she never heard her laugh much or even seriously compliment anyone for years. Yes, anyways, he did all of this for attention and even tried to constantly ask out Sakura just to get the negative attention she would give him. I always hated her for stealing his attention. Hinata began again before stopping to mumble the last part to herself in a voice that was just barely loud enough for the other two to hear. Still, eventually he became our class's dead last and was paired with the highest scoring of both the physical and mental part of our final tests. Basically, after that I have no real knowledge, seeing as their training would have been closer to when my team was busy. Not that I watched over him or anything. Hinata finished, though quickly added the last part, hopping the ice user wouldn't think of her as being a stalker. I see, thank you Hinata. Haku muttered, clearly upset with what she heard. So, his life was just as bad as mine, if not even worse. She thought, annoyed with the village she now lived in, but soon used this new knowledge to get determined to make sure the rest of his life would be as enjoyable as she could make it. It is no problem Haku, you know I don't think I really care for my bento anymore. Do you want to go get some ramen? Hinata asked now that she was thinking about her boyfriend more. Sure. That sounds good, and Naruto-sama already told me he had to go do something and won't be back, so I don't even need to worry about cooking for my master first. Haku answered, but now was a bit amused by how annoyed Hinata seemed to get whenever she heard that someone else was spending their time working hard to keep the bond happy when she was too busy to do so. I will go as well. I want to see why Naruto liked it so much. Hanabi added in before the two left, making her sister curious as to why her normal attitude changed so much all of a sudden. Still, for now she just shrugged it off and they all left to get a few bowls of ramen. Mainly put this in to get a basic history of Naruto's life, and that is a bit different to give more reason to his changes and to also begin to show that Hanabi has some interest in Naruto, so I don't just say all of a sudden she seemed to love Naruto later on. So, all of them began their trip through the village, simply enjoying the fact that at the moment none of them had anything to do before finally reaching the stand. Hello Hinata, Haku. Hyuga-san. AM happily greeted the two people that helped her get to be with the man she loves, but did not know Hanabi, besides seeing her eyes which gave away her clan. Hello AM-san, can I get a miso ramen for me and another for my sister? Hinata asks, ordering the second miso ramen, when she noticed that Hanabi clearly had no idea what to choose, being that it was her first time at the stand. So, she simply started the younger girl off with one that she found to be one of her favorites, even though her sister glared at her for a bit for taking the decision away from her. And one pork ramen for me. Haku then added simply to the older woman, who nodded her head, then went to the back to help her father make the meal. Then soon enough 3 steaming hot bowls of ramen were placed in front of the group of girls, who happily began to eat and talk to each other, and even AM when she decided to join in. So, all together they had a very good meal until they finally decided it was time to leave. That was a good meal. I can see why Mater loves this place so much. Haku told the two Hyugas, seeing as the two chefs truly put as much effort as possible into making sure their food was as good as it could be. Yet as Hinata began before she bumped into an adult who clearly smelled heavily of alcohol. Oh, I am sorry for bumping into you, sir. Hinata kindly apologizes to the man, who shakily turned his attention to them and narrowed his eyes. Oh, well, if it isn't the demon lovers. He spat out, surprising the group at the hostility. I don't know what you mean, sir. Hyanta told the man, hopping, that she could just keep the talk peaceful and that the man left them alone. Though he seemed to have a lot to say to them, and by the crowd that was quickly forming, people were curious as to what would happen here. But they all saw both Hinata and Haku around Naruto and knew that he had to have some relationship with them, but they never really minded as much as they would have, seeing as they now heard that he was from an important clan that could easily hold a good amount of power in the village. You know what I mean. Both of you girls are pretty enough to go after any male yes gals wanted, but both of you beauties have gone after that Demosh demon brat. Don't you all know what he has done to all of Kana village? The man asks the girl with the drinks he consumed, messing up his speech a bit. We aren't dating a demon, sir, we are dating Naruto Uzumaki, who is a good man for all of us. Hinata told the man, now getting a bit annoyed with him now. Ah, the demon's brat has just put spells on all of ye. You need a good man to get it off. Now let me just give you both me special medicine. The man tells them both with lust in his eyes as he looked down at the two girls' bodies, not even caring that they were still young. Now he was also going to put a hand on Hinata's shoulder, but a blur sped past him and landed in front of her, and now had his wrist held in a firm grip of its own. This blur ended up being Naruto, who clearly was furious. For after stopping the man, he stood there glaring at the man while still holding firmly onto his wrist. Though right now everyone in front of him could notice his eyes partially turning red. Meanwhile, the girls behind him could begin to feel Naruto's chakra saturate the air and become very cold and dangerous. Oh, the little demon come to see a real man treat the girls under his magic spell. Urge and whatevers. Well, just watch as I give them all me medicine. The man told Naruto, not afraid at all, seeing as he still was the young boy that he was able to torture before. Of course, now everyone around him was getting disgusted with the fact that this man wanted to do unspeakable things with two young girls, ninja or not. Plus, they were also getting really curious what Naruto would do, seeing as when someone stood up to him, he usually just accepted his beating. Though what they didn't expect was for the red tint to completely change his eye color and watch as the pupil turned to become more animal, like they also now began to feel a large amount of Kai weighing down on them and watched in horror as red chakra came from Naruto and seemed to almost be boiling and bubbling. They then heard the drunk man scream in pain as Naruto's grip became strong enough to crush the man's wrist and shock him out of his drunk state. Ow, you dumb demon, that fucking hurts. I was just going to show these girls the error of their way. After all, who cares if the village claims that you are a clan leader now? All in all, you still are the little demon that can't be allowed to create more monsters. Now move so I can show these girls the error of their way. The man told Naruto, happy that he now had a perfect chance to teach Naruto a lesson, seeing as he figured that Naruto would just break down in fear in front of him and let him do what he wants. Though what he didn't expect was to feel extreme pain from his chest. So, he looked down and saw Naruto's hand that was now coated in the red chakra into what looked like a clawed hand was pierced through his chest completely and pierced a massive hole in his lung that Naruto left his hand in. He then looked shocked at Naruto, who was glaring at him with his eyes glowing red and more of the horrible chakra leaking out each second, even as blood slowly began dribbling out of his mouth. I may have taken all this village's crap for the old man to not have to deal with so much and to keep my haters hunting group from getting any bigger. But that has changed. I am stronger now and I have people I should know will protect with all of my strength. Now understand, these girls are giving me something that I never thought I would have. They are the ones who finally made me realize why people are supposed to enjoy this damn thing called life. And I will not let a bastard like you harm them. Naruto growled out and roughly tore his hand out of the man's chest, making his blood spray out following his hand and soon after pool around the man's body that fell to the ground at Naruto's feet. Though instead of simply watching as the man's life quickly went away, Naruto brought up his bloody and still clawed hand up, ready to hit the man's head. Let this bastard be a message that while I can take any of the crap you say about me, I will not let you harm any of my precious. Naruto called out to the now horrified crowd and quickly began to bring his hand down before an arm from behind wrapped around his arm in a way that tried to stop him, but instead just greatly slowed him down due to the strength the chakra was giving him, which was increasing by each moment, making the arm visibly shake as it struggled to try and stop him. Though another pair of arms wrapped around his chest with a large object on his back a bit above them that was making his back wet. He quickly looked behind himself and saw Haku stopping his arm and Hinata holding him with her head on his back. Of course, he also soon noticed how Haku seemed to be in visible pain and was horrified to realize that the chakra he was using was cooking the skin that was touching it just by its toxic value to any human cell, not used to it already. So, due to this shock, the chakra quickly receded back into him and his eyes went back to blue. Hinata, Haku, why? Naruto asked the two girls, shocked that they would protect this man. Of course, he only slightly noticed that Hanabi also seemed to be in tears just like her sister, but was just frozen in place, but brought all of his attention back to the girls. You already stopped him from hurting us, Naruto-kun, and while I don't necessarily like the way you did it, I can't help but partially think a creep like that deserved it. But if you continued this, you would just make the village fear you as if you actually were a monster, and I don't want that to happen again, not after it finally began looking better for you here. Hinata told him while still crying. So, he quickly looked at the crowd and saw them all look at him, clearly horrified by what happened and seemed to be frozen in fear, just like Hanabi was frozen. Of course, he also noticed several Anbu who quickly came up to him and placed a seal on his head that stuck onto him and grabbed him away from the girls. Naruto Uzumaki, you are being detained until we determine what will result of this event. One of the Anbu told him, and two of them left with one restraining Naruto and the other watching over him to make sure nothing happened. Though the others that stayed close quickly put the body into a body bag and washed away the now drying blood. They also checked on the girls and made sure they were okay before escorting them to their own homes, telling them that they would be questioned later. Of course, in Haku's case, she was taken to the hospital to be treated for the chakra burns that were on her. What is going to happen to Naruto-kun? Both of the girls thought worried as they were taken away from the scene. With their last sight of it being an Anbu trying to calm down the villagers. Equals council, meeting equals. Tsunade was in yet another meeting going over her plans, now that she is Hokage when an Anbu shows up near her bowing low. What is it? Tsunade asks the ninja. Hokage-sama, we have found that Jinchuriki Naruto Uzumaki has used the beast's chakra to kill a civilian. Well, it looked to be a simple murder case. It turns out that said man was getting ready to try and sexually abuse Haku Mamachi and Hinata Hyuga. Naruto is retained in a holding cell waiting for your decision on what will happen while we sent the body to the morgue. The man told Tsunade, who rubbed her temples out of annoyance. I haven't even been here for a week and already trouble is brewing around the brat. She thinks annoyed, then listens as the civilian council demanded for Naruto to be punished even if he was technically a clan leader. Of course they were silenced quickly when she loudly ordered everyone to do so. Though soon after she did that, Hiashi decided to add his own opinion in. Hokage-sama, well, I don't necessarily approve of the boy being around my daughter if this man was going to try and defile her. I find the fact that he was killed on the spot to be justifiable. After all, if he was detained instead, I would have him put to death anyways for attempting to harm one of my daughters who might become the next clan leader. Hiashi told her respectfully while the civilians stayed quiet, seeing as they knew that this was true, seeing as when she was kidnapped, he quickly tried to get every punishment possible for the cause of it. Well, it wasn't handled in the right manner, the man in question would have been punished severely anyways. So, it would seem like a light punishment for Naruto-san would be good enough just to make sure he doesn't think it is completely okay to kill them again. Shikaku mumbled out in his normal sleepy intellectual voice. Of course, before the civilians that were still against Naruto could react, Tsunade made her decision. I decree that Naruto Uzumaki will be given, having to do 2 days of only D-rank missions, as his punishment for killing a civilian in question, before he could be sentenced for his own illegal acts. Tsunade tells the group, seeing as even she felt that Naruto's murder was justified due to the events, but had to punish him somehow, so that people don't accuse her of favoritism. Though by the looks of the council, a lot of them were happy with her decision, showing they felt the same way. Guard release Naruto and tell him that he is to report at the mission hall tomorrow morning for his punishment to begin. Tsunade ordered the Anbu, who nodded his head and left. Containment CLL. Naruto was calmly sitting in his cell, waited for whatever the council decided his fate to be. For a while he knew he shouldn't kill civilians of his own village, no matter what. He still found what he did to be worth any punishment. So, instead of whining, begging, or trying to act tough like the rest of the people around him were doing while waiting for trial, he just sat in the middle of his cell just waiting. Though soon enough he heard footsteps coming closer to his cell and looked up to find a few Anbu standing around his gate. Naruto Uzumaki, it has been determined that starting tomorrow you will have several D-rank missions assigned for you to complete for no pay for that day and the next day. This is your punishment, but otherwise we are here to let you out. Just be sure to show up in the mission room to collect the beginning of your missions bright and early tomorrow. One of the Anbu told him. Then they all walked into his cage and began to remove the chakra suppressors they put on him and gave him back his normal gear to wear yet again. Then as soon as he was done getting ready, they lead him to a small room that had a seal covering the entire floor before disappearing from the chamber with a guard. Of course he wasn't surprised by this, seeing as no one should know where the criminals are kept so that no one could get them out. What he did find surprising was that they brought him so close to his house before nodding as a goodbye and leaving the boy alone in the village. Naruto's HOUSE. When Naruto finally made it home, he was ready to see Haku hate him for being a cold-blooded killer and harden his heart yet again to try and make her words hurt less. Instead he saw her and surprisingly Hinata at a table and were instantly relieved when they saw that he was back. Naruto-kun, I am so sorry we didn't protect ourselves and made you have to enter jail. Hinata told him while crying a bit. Of course Naruto couldn't help but be surprised, seeing he was expecting hatred, not to worry girls. No, it is okay Hinata, I would gladly protect any of you no matter what the cost is, but shouldn't you two be afraid of me seeing as I now am a cold-blooded killer? Naruto asked, shocked. No Naruto-sama, we know it was just your way of protecting us, though a less brutal way would be better if there is a next time. Haku tells him, and then he turned to Hinata, who nodded in agreement before blushing. Hey Naruto, did you really mean it when you told him that we are your precious people? Hinata asked, still blushing. Yes Hinata, all of you gave me the one thing I would never experience return, being love, and also what I never thought I would have, a family. All of you girls mean the world to me, and I would gladly do anything to make sure you stay happy. Naruto told them with his love for them clear in his expressions, which made both girls blush badly. Oh, thank you Naruto-kun, wait, you never thought you would have Sakura return your love for her? Hinata asked, slightly disappointed, seeing as she was hopping that she was the one he first found to love, seeing as he asked her out first. No, for Sakura sure I found her attractive and still partially do, but really she was the one of the only people I knew on my level that I wouldn't mind dating a lot if she accepted, plus she actually responded to me. Naruto told Hinata honestly. At your level? What do you mean all of us were at the same rank? Hinata asks confused with Haku now getting curious. Well, I basically put any of the clan member girls out of my league, seeing as they had anything they wanted and I was only an orphan. But really the only girl I was focused on I knew I would never be able to ask out well before I got closer to her level by becoming a clan member, and that was the princess of Konoha. Naruto told them, still being honest, while Hinata blushed badly, knowing that is what she is called due to her clan's strength. You mean all this time you loved me, the girl who was too timid to try and get anyone's attention and thought I wasn't on your level? Naruto-kun, I probably was lower than your level, seeing as only Kiba ever tried to flirt with me. Hinata told him, seeing as she always thought she wasn't all that pretty, seeing as well the more social girls like Ino were asked out all the time, she was only seen by one boy that she found to like as only a good friend. No, Hinata, you may think that, but even back then you were the beauty of our class. After all, I know a lot of other boys always used to talk about you, but were too afraid of your clan's power to talk to you. After all, we all saw what a beautiful woman you were becoming. Naruto explained, making the girl severely happy, knowing not only was she considered beautiful by her crush, but she also was the one that he would have went after all through school if she just had enough guts to ask him out. Though this led to her kissing Naruto right on the lips where she found the feeling she received to bring even more pleasure to her body. So, they kissed again and again until eventually they made them longer lasting to keep the feeling going. In fact, they were so enveloped by the feeling that they didn't even notice Haku leave when she finally decided that she would get her turn to talk to him later and that they needed this moment. Still, Naruto partially noticed her absence for a moment before he was surprised to find Hinata licking at his teeth, which made him open them out of shock. So, he opened his eyes and looked to see Hinata as clearly in a love-lust haze, but seeing as she seemed to be even happier than before, he chose to not stop her and just enjoy it as well. Of course, he was surprised that in her lustful mood, she began rubbing around his body with her hands, but soon enough he found himself reacting to it. A reaction that made all of his self-control leave his teenage hormonal body and get more into their moment as well. In fact, it was just shy of becoming a sexual moment before a loud banging came from the door, shocking them both out of it. I should, get that. Naruto told her and rushed to the door while trying to recover from his lust, while Hinata stood there blushing heavily, remembering what they were about to do. Sasuke, random training ground. Gee, that damn dope getting all the credit for beating that desert demon child. That should have been me so that the world can begin to understand the greatness of me, the almighty Uchiha clan head. Plus, he has been able to collect the stronger and more beautiful girls of the village, they should be mine as well. He will pay for taking stuff that should belong to me. Sasuke thought, angry while resting on a tree branch that was close to where he was training. Look, we finally found the Uchiha. He heard from a good distance away from him and tried to get prepared for a battle, but before he could, a few wires wrapped around the tree and tightened to tie him to said tree. He then saw a group of people appeared around him. Hey Uchiha, are you still looking for the power that Orochimaru-sama can give you? Kimimaro asked the struggling boy. Yes, any power that it is possible to achieve rightfully belong to the Uchiha. Sasuke told them, fully believing their clan deserves everything they want. Gee, this bastard is fucking stuck up. The only women mumbled out but is ignored for the most part. Very well then, come to the location on this map by 7:30 tonight. It may look blank right now, but that is just to make sure that no one will question it until it is needed, so it will not actually appear until 7 o'clock tonight. Kimimaro told him with a blank face. Very well. Sasuke told them simply and watched as he put the paper down on the tree and then felt the wires tying him up loosen, letting him quickly grab the paper. Yes, very soon I will be able to gain a lot of power under a Sannin. Soon I will have more than enough power to be able to defeat all that stand in my way. Sasuke thinks with a smirk while picturing his brother and also Naruto. And I will collect what is rightfully belonging to me and my clan. He continued, now picturing a large clan compound with multiple strong women admiring him who had every Kage's hat sitting on the ground in front of him. All I need is time and I will be able to show the world what the true power of the Uchiha is. Then they will understand why we were always feared. Just you wait, world, I will surpass even Madara and become someone that the whole world has to respect. He finished with an insane laugh before heading back to his currently empty clan compound to collect anything he would need on his training trip, seeing as he knew he would have to become strong enough to control Konoha before he is ever allowed back, seeing as he was leaving it. After all, in his mind, why bother serving a village that refuses to give you any more resources to become stronger instead of going to one that will make you one of the strongest beings alive. Plus 6:30 o'clock that night plus. Sasuke now was sitting on one of his clan's several rooftops simply watching the sky until it was time for his map to be activated. Though now in his kunai pouch was not only just a good amount of kunai but also several sealing scrolls filled with anything he felt he could ever possibly need. But he wasn't focused on that currently, instead he was looking down at the paper which quickly was stained with ink that showed a clear destination. And with that he left with a smirk ready to get the power he deserved and didn't even glance back at the village that had been his home for years. Goodbye weaklings of Konoha, hello power. He thought happily as he sped up even more to reach the meeting point before anyone noticed him. Meeting spot. When Sasuke finally made it to the marked location he saw all of the same people there and yet again Kimimaro walked up to him with his fatter teammate following carrying a large barrel on his back. Okay Sasuke, to begin giving you the power Orochimaru-sama can give you, take this pill. It will rebuild your body in order for you not only unseal the power that Orochimaru-sama gave you and also will let you reach the second level of the seal. So, take this quickly and let yourself fall asleep while we will carry you to our base in this container, which will help the process go smoothly. He explained and then watched as the Uchiha immediately took the pill and instantly passed out only to be quickly caught and stuffed into the barrel. The process has begun. Now let's go, Orochimaru-sama wants us back before he fully reaches the second level so he may welcome his new student. Kimimaro tells the group, who nods, and they all begin their trip back to their hidden base. Naruto's house. At the door Naruto saw Shikamaru, who was for once completely serious, looking at him, which took the last bit of his lust haze away. Naruto-san, grab anything you need for a large fight as fast as possible. You and a few others will be following me as we go to try and capture a possible missing ninja. He told Naruto, serious. Huh, why would we be sent after him then? Usually the Anbu do that. Naruto asked. Naruto, it is Sasuke, so he is not currently at the treat level the Anbu go after. Also, they are all busy, so Tsunade has me collecting a few of our available ninja to go. Now grab your things and meet me at this gate. Shikamaru ordered. Naruto then quickly showed him a spot on a map before running off to more than likely prepare some more. Course after that Naruto quickly grabbed a few things before heading out, telling the girls that he needed to help, seeing as he knew they heard Shikamaru, and quickly ran to the meeting point. Meeting point. Soon enough Naruto and several other members of their graduating class were nervously standing at the gate when Shikamaru showed up and instantly took charge. Okay, so now he was last seen by our chakra sensors heading straight this direction a little bit ago. Now be careful, seeing as they have also sensed several other large chakra signatures with him, so be ready for a fight at any time. Shikamaru told them, then watched as they nodded, showing they understood. Good, then let's go. He added, and they all speed off to catch up to the leaving ninja, ready to use any means necessary to stop him. In Konoha. Haku, Hinata. Both of the girls were still in Naruto's house, even after hearing him quickly rush out of the house to do his duty as a ninja. Course this was partially thanks to Hinata, frozen in place blushing badly just thinking of what she did to Naruto and how he was reacting. Naruto, please come back safe from this. Knowing Sasuke team, he wouldn't leave unless someone was offering him more power, meaning he probably won't be alone. Still, just come back safe to me, to us. And if possible, rush back after collecting that team so we can continue what we started now that we have broken into the next level. Hinata thought, sending out prayers to whatever deity was listening to keep him safe. Also, she currently has no idea her teammate is with him, or else she would be a bit worried about him as well. Naruto-sama, I know that you are strong, easily stronger than me. Still, I can't help but wish to go with you on this mission. After all, you never know when you need an extra weapon. No, you wouldn't want me thinking like that. You are too kind for that. I wish to become your tool and instead you made me into your friend and later your girlfriend. I will still serve you, but don't worry, I now know how to live better than I was. Now all I need is for you to come back and be with me longer, Naruto-kun. Haku thought, still worried about her boyfriend, but knew he could easily take care of himself. I know there is something going on, I just wish I knew what. But it has to be important, seeing as I have never seen Shikamaru-kun move that faster after the Anbu pulled him away from our group family's dinner. Ino thought, worried, seeing as she was able to see him become completely serious due to the group of their families turning into a friendship that basically made them all feel to be one large family. Even she felt it, even if she never really showed how much she cared for her pseudo brothers. You even took Choji after a quick chat and he didn't even complain about missing the meal. Something is going on and it is really bad, just please be careful, you too. Ino thought, hoping for the best but still not really knowing what is going on. Group chasing after Sasuke, forest. Each member of the group was all quietly racing to catch up, even making sure to go at speeds that they normally wouldn't use due to it not being good for long travels. Still, eventually they reached the group that were apparently going only at a normal speed, probably thinking they were in the clear. Though soon enough they saw the pale member of the group who was apparently the leader stop the group and make them all look at them. They were found out, meaning there was no times for plans, just for fighting. Ah, so I see that the Konoha actually managed to notice us. I must make sure we do not let this happen again. Kimimaro tells them as he watches them all jump out of the trees and land a few feet in front of the direction they were now looking. But for now, Jirobo, take care of them while we go on ahead. He added, knowing the chubby man would be best suited for keeping a large group from continuing. His order was soon followed when said man gave the container that Sasuke was in to one of his teammates and walked to the front of their group and quickly slams his hands on the ground. Earth release barrier. Earth prison dome of magnificent nothingness. Jirobo called out happily and a dome of stone closed in on the Konoha group, who failed to escape the jutsu in time. Ha, now all of your pathetic group is stuck in this dome, while I slowly drain all of you dry of chakra. Jirobo told them happily with both of his hands on the outside of the dome, but soon enough he found something out that made his smile fade just a bit. Gee, here I thought this would be relatively quick, seeing as they all should have around a normal genin's amount of chakra, but for some reason it feels like I am trying to drain an ocean with a sake glass. Just how much chakra do these ninjas have at their disposal? He questions mentally but still nods to his team's leader and watched as they all left. Then the DOME. After hearing this, each one of the group members tense up, trying to figure out how to get out before they lose too much of their chakra. This of course leads to each one of them trying one of their attacks on the walls just to watch the damage they did quickly repair. Though after that they all tensed when they heard their capturer laughing at their attempts. Just keep trying to get out, Konoha ninja. It will only make this faster. He told them happily, seeing as some of the large mass of chakra he felt was going to be used up. Though after he said this, Shikamaru began to try and make a plan to get out, while Kiba decided to do his own. That is it, I refuse to just let this guy take all of our chakra. Come on Akamaru, let's attack this thing till we bust out. Kiba told his companion, who barked as an answer, and they both tensed up before jumping into the air while quickly spinning. Fang passing Fang. Kiba called out, and with as much force and speed as he and Akamaru could muster started hitting various parts of the dome. Of course the rest of the team saw the damage getting healed up each time and began trying to get their teammate to stop, only to be ignored. So it seems that his jutsu is well equipped to repair from multiple people attacking at the same time. Though how is this healing and even taking our chakra, seeing as even jutsu placed stone should not be able to absorb it or repair. But if he keeps pumping his own chakra into the jutsu and covers the entire dome, allowing the transfer. But that would mean that for such a large dome, he would have to be pumping out a large amount of chakra at the same time. Shikamaru thinks, then watches Kiba and Akamaru while their attack is going and saw something that made his eyes widen a bit in surprise. How did I not notice that before? It takes time to spread chakra to this entire large area, so with only one person using this jutsu, of course, some parts will heal faster than others. And seeing as he is on that side, the weakest side would be on the complete other side. I have a plan that might just work. Shikamaru thought hoping his plan would work. Everyone try to do damage to the wall. And Choji, make sure you use your human bullet tank jutsu. Shikamaru ordered the group while using hand signs to imply more now that all of them could see at least a bit in the darkness, now that they got used to it. Everyone try to damage the wall. Focus on the side he is not for most damage, but don't make it too obvious. And Choji, make sure you use your human bullet tank jutsu. When the other side is about as damaged as possible and break through the wall. Was his full plan, and they quickly did just that. For all of them attacked the sides, but Naruto also created several clones to attack the back with Rasengans that caused severe damage, and then signaled Choji to do his jutsu, which said boy did so immediately, and they all watched as the boy ball tore through the rock, much to their relief for finally being able to jump out of the trap before it could close up again. Though that clearly annoyed Jirobo when he saw them. Damn fools. Well, I guess I will have to deal with all of you guys the old-fashioned way. Jirobo told them, then prepared to attack one of them before the human boulder that was still going slammed into him, knocking him a bit away from the group as he was pushed back but still on his feet. Guys, go on ahead, I will deal with this guy. Choji told his friends after stopping his jutsu. But Shikamaru tried to tell his friend only to get cut off by the pudgy boy repeating for them to go. Of course they all saw that they couldn't stop him from wanting to do this, so they all left instead of insulting him by staying even after he tried to have them put their trust in him. Gee, you will regret that, brat. Jirobo told Choji after he walked back towards the group and saw the rest of them quickly going away from them. After all, now I have to kill you before I go and take care of your friends. He added, angering Choji even more. Group. After they left Choji to fight what they all knew would be a tough opponent, each one of the remaining group were worried about what the results of this mission would be, and if possible even a bit more focused. They knew they had to give it their all for this mission, and that is exactly what they would do. And soon enough they found themselves yet again catching up to the remainder of the Sound 4 team, who were still speeding away at a good speed, though Neji, who had his doujutsu active, noticed something about the team. Wait a minute, they had a group of 5 without including Sasuke, and we only lost one of them, leaving them with 4 people, then why do I only see 3 of them? Neji thought, worried, with his danger sense kicking in badly, before all of a sudden he saw a strange large arrow coming at them fast. Everyone get down. Neji yelled at the rest of the group, who immediately did so and were soon very thankful, seeing as the arrow that would have hit the team instead got stuck after it went through a tree trunk. Oh, so the Hyuga managed to figure it out, huh? Well, no matter, I still get to enjoy the hunt of all these pathetic ninjas. Kimimaro told the group from seemingly all around them in the forest they were in, causing them all to tense up. Course they all focused attention onto Neji, knowing his doujutsu would be key in this fight. Course Ed Ninja seemed to be thinking something over. Everyone go on ahead, I will take on this enemy, all of you continue the mission. Neji told the group, making them all look at him slightly shocked. Neji, are you sure you want? Naruto began, worried about the boy that he became kind of friends with after he knocked some sense into him but was cut off. This guy is a long-distance fighter who can launch high-speed projectiles at us at any moment. Having anyone that can't sense them coming is a liability more than a help. Now go. Neji told them, being more analytical than Choji was, but still they eventually agreed and tried getting away from the area as fast as possible before they were targeted again. Oh, my prey is leaving, I guess I will just have to hunt you all down one at a time, starting with you, Hyuga. Kimimaro told Neji as he quickly got in his normal fighting stance and prepared to try and use his doujutsu to the best of his capabilities. Remainder of group. After leaving Neji behind, the remaining members of the Konoha group were even more worried about their teammates, but still continued on, seeing as they trusted their teammates to stay alive and win. Plus, they also still needed to catch up to the group that yet again were far away from them. After all, if they crossed the border, things would get a lot more complicated. Still, eventually they did find themselves close to the group and even heard Teiwaya complaining. For fuck's sake, first, we have to go all the way to Konoha just to pick up this brat. Then the bitch leading the village sends a group of midgets after us, and now I have to carry the Fukin boy who made all these problems for us. Teiwaya complained, even though her teammates were trying their best to ignore her. Course they then noticed the Konoha ninja that were close to them again. Oh, crap, they escaped the other assholes yet again. She complained while Kimimaro frowned. Yes, it seems the others have failed yet again. Seiken, you two better not fail me like the others. The pale man told the fused twins who stayed behind as they left. Well, it seems we get to fight as well, brother. Seiken mumbles happily to what seemed to be himself to the Konoha ninja. Though Kiba was less focused on that weirdness than he was at Akamaru, who was growling at the ninja, putting him on edge, seeing as he never saw the dog that serious before. Oh, and look, these stupid ninjas even brought a small puppy with them. How foolish they are to bring a useless pet. Seiken told them, making both Kiba and Akamaru furious. DRRR. This bastard dares to make fun of not only me but my whole clan. Guys, leave him to us. Kiba told the group, who understood his rage and expected it now. Not to mention the fact that they now realized that if they didn't do so, the Sound Ninja would escape easily. So, they left their friend yet again to catch up with the last members of the Sound team. Though they didn't go far before they eventually reached the Sound team much faster than last time, which they were thankful for, seeing as they were reaching the border. Naruto, if they split up again, I will take the girl who will most likely be the one that stays behind while you take on the leader. Shikamaru tells the blonde, who gets curious as to why, but just accepts it as fact, seeing as they were getting too close to the enemy to worry about anything but the enemy. Naruto-san is stronger than me, so he should take the leader, who is more than likely the strongest member of this group. Was Shikamaru's thoughts, and when he saw that the girl did change paths and charge at them. So, with a few well-placed throws of kunai and shuriken with a few explosive notes, he diverted her to the side and kept her away from Naruto. He then gave a quick nod to the blonde and continued to keep her away from the blonde, who speed past them to keep up with Kimimaro. Like, I will let that asshole escape. Teiwaya growled out, even if she was a good distance away from the blonde. Still, she brought up her flute to her lips and was about to play a song, but was stopped due to having to dodge a shadow that was trying to connect to her own, making Shikamaru smirk, seeing as he knew she had to be up to something. Still, he then watched as Naruto got too far away from them for even long-range attacks to hit him, and then Shikamaru turned his full attention back to the fuming girl. Damn you bastard. I will make sure you die painfully for that. Teiwaya told him, leaking a good amount of kai before yet again bringing her flute to her lips. Naruto. Damn, this is not how this was supposed to happen. Naruto thought, annoyed, then pictured all of his team briefly. You better not die. The added then launched himself fast enough through the trees to catch up to Kimimaro in a large field. Stop, bastard. Naruto called out to the pale ninja, who just turned calmly to him. Yet again it seems you Konoha ninja are truly far too stubborn. Now we must make sure you all die before we can complete our mission. Kimimaro told him. Then Naruto watched in morbid fascination as Kimimaro's finger's skin parted at the top to show the bones underneath. Then finger drilling bullets. He calmly called out. Then several pieces of bone launched at Naruto at an extremely fast speed, but was still easily dogged. Still Naruto was preparing for a hard fight when both him and Kimimaro looked to the side when they heard a quiet voice that seemed to be getting louder as a dust cloud came at them. The cloud then sped up even more when it was closer to them and screamed out. Dynamic entry. As it launched at Kimimaro, Naruto then saw said pale sound ninja having his chest slightly more pounced as he looked at the man who made the dust cloud, which turned out to be Lee. Course that only lasted a moment before he released more bone spikes on his chest to try and impale Lee, who quickly jumped back towards Naruto. Yosh, Naruto-sen, I am here to help you get the unyouthful Sasuke back from the enemy. The energetic ninja told Naruto. Okay, then let's beat this guy down fast, seeing as Sasuke is in that barrel over there. Naruto told Lee, who nodded, and they both prepared to fight until everyone heard a loud cracking sound and looked to the barrel to find Sasuke was out. Orochimaru-sama will be upset that you finished reaching the next level before we reach the base. Still, we need you back there anyway, so quickly head to this location and we will meet you there after we deal with these Konoha ninja. Kimimaro told Sasuke while throwing him a piece of paper. Said boy caught the paper and nodded before speeding off back towards the border. Damn it. Naruto mumbled when he saw this and then looked over at Lee, who clearly had something to say. Naruto-sen, I will fight this enemy here and show my youthfulness here. You go get the Uchiha before he escapes. Lee told him seriously, and Naruto just nodded his head after a moment before running off while Lee began his fight. Valley of the End. Naruto ended up catching up to the Uchiha right after he jumped to the other side of the Valley of the End, and they both just stood there staring at each other for a few moments. So, team, we really have to go this far just to drag you back to the village? Naruto asked annoyed. Gee, I will not go back to the village. It has nothing left to get me stronger, while Orochimaru has more than enough for me to use. Sasuke told him. Very well, then I guess I have no other choice but to drag you back, even if I have to break every bone in your body. Naruto told him seriously. As if you could dope. Sasuke told him, and with that they both tensed up ready to fight. At the valley, the two teenagers stared at each other, simply waiting to see who would throw the first punch. The very air in between them seemed to be tense before Sasuke jumped from his monument first and came at Naruto with a kick that was quickly dogged, and then said blonde retaliated by throwing a quick punch that was pushed off course easily. The two then continued their fast-paced sparring match on the head until Sasuke got a good side kick on Naruto, knocking the wind out of him. Soon after he got this hit, Naruto took the opening he created and hit him in the face hard enough to knock him back enough to fall into the valley. So, Sasuke had to quickly recover enough to have his feet hit the water first so he could keep his balance before looking up at Naruto. Gee, it looks like I have to actually get serious about fighting you, seeing as I really need to finish this quickly and get to my new teacher. Sasuke told him, then quickly did a few hand signs before holding on of his arm straight and pointed at the ground while the other grabbed towards his shoulder for support. Soon electricity was seen coating his straight hand. He then ran straight up the mountain before jumping to get to Naruto, who jumped off with a Rasengan in hand. Soon their attacks hit each other and fought for dominance until they both eventually cancelled out and the impact of the used chakra burnt their hands a bit. How is it possible that a weakling like you could manage to negate an Uchiha's attack? Sasuke asked, angered by the fact that Naruto wasn't clearly below him in terms of power. Well, it is simple, Uchiha team. Well, you may not believe it, you aren't the only one who trains to use all of their attacks to the best of their ability. Naruto told him, knowing that Sasuke did spend a lot of time trying to master at least a few of his attacks, even if he didn't do that for all of them. Gee, whatever dope, just die already. Sasuke told him, then quickly went through more hand signs. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu. He mumbled out, then after a deep breath blew out a massive ball of fire at Naruto, who simply stood there watching the fireball come. Course this made the fire quickly surround his body, making him vanish from sight due to the fire and a bit of steam that was created by the fire that seemed to be hissing. Good, the dope finally listened to his superior. Sasuke spat out and turned to slowly walk towards his new life. Where are you going, team? He then heard, shocking him enough to look back and see a completely fine blonde standing behind what looked to be a curved wall of water in front of him that was still releasing an almost unnoticeable amount of steam, but this disappeared when the water all just fell back into the river. What, did you really think that a little bit of fire would be enough to kill me? Well, let me tell you a little secret. You see, your clan always has members that have a strong attribute to fire as their first element and then find their second, which in your case seems to be lighting. But for my clan it is the same, except instead of fire we have water. Naruto explained, partially happy to see that his chakra mold release. Water wall. Jutsu bugged the Uchiha in front of him. Course he then watched as Sasuke quickly got over his shock and glared at him even more annoyed than before and was releasing all the kai he could at him. Sasuke then rushed at Naruto with a quickly prepared Chidori, only to see Naruto quickly bring up another wall that this time seemed green. But he didn't worry about this and simply pushed his Chidori at the wall that gave some resistance but eventually pushed through and would have hit the blonde behind it if he didn't manage to negate the rest of the attack's power with an imperfect Rasengan, seeing as he didn't have the time to create it fully. Man, I have to give it to Kakashi. His jutsu is strong enough that even a weak one can pierce through a wind wall defense. Naruto mumbled a bit annoyed with himself for almost being hurt due to his own pride in his jutsu. Note to self, next time you can easily dodge an attack do so instead of trying to show off. Naruto quickly thought before having to focus back on the fight that became a taijutsu match again. Though this time Sasuke activated his Sharingan to put Naruto into a genjutsu that thankfully he quickly came out of, but it still slowed Naruto down for a second, which was just enough for Sasuke to start a quick combo that launched Naruto back into the stone wall. Ugh was all Naruto could push out after having the wind knocked out of his lungs. Well, I guess even if your genjutsu can't really do too much harm to me, it still is something I need to be careful of. Naruto complained, but Sasuke didn't listen and only continued the fight. Damn, now instead of remaining too cocky and letting this fight be easy, he is more into just trying to kill me. I need to be more careful now seeing as even if he is way too cocky he still was head of our class for a reason. Though it is good to know that genjutsu leaves a hole in my defenses, I will need to work on that. Naruto thought before returning all of his attention back to the fight at hand. Though both of them focused mainly on using taijutsu for their match to save chakra for jutsu if they needed them later on. Though Sasuke was the one who broke a pure match by all of a sudden going through hand signs close range to Naruto, who quickly tried to take the opening created by his hands being occupied but stopped his attempt as soon as he saw Sasuke stop and jumped back a bit to have time to dodge the attack he already saw several times during their team training times. Fire style. Phoenix Age Fire Jutsu. Bassoon called out and Naruto was forced to dodge the few dozen small fireballs that came at him by jumping to the side, though what he didn't expect was to find out it was only a distraction and yet again Sasuke came at him again with a Chidori that was heading right to his heart. In fact, he only had time to bring up his hand and create a small chakra shield and make it as dense as he could before the Chidori reached him. Sadly, while Sasuke visibly was struggling to push enough power into the jutsu that he still couldn't do too many times, but in the end made it through the shield and hit Naruto. Though thankfully for Naruto the attack actually didn't hit his heart but still caused a good bit of damage to the muscle and had electrical burns charring his skin as well. This caused a large amount of pain for the blonde and a smirk to appear on the Uchiha's face as he looked at the charred closed wound. Though that smile turned into a look of shock when he saw more smoke coming off the wound and visibly saw the muscle and tissue heal themselves at a good pace. What the hell is he? No human should be capable of healing from something like that. He stole my victory yet again, that damn dope. Though I guess this means that all those people that called him a demon were really telling the truth. Sasuke thought, but when he finally brought his focus back to the fight, he saw that the healing was already pretty far along and would more than likely be done with soon, meaning he missed a chance of finishing him off. Damn, I let myself get too unfocused, whatever, I still can easily beat the dope even if I have used the Chidori 3 times. I just need to make sure my last one counts. He thought, then quickly thought of his plans to catch Naruto off guard again. I will admit you caught me off guard with that last combo, but it will not happen again. After all, I need to bring you back to the village no matter what. Naruto told him, determined not to fail the mission, while the rest of his teammates were risking their lives even as he stood there just to give him this chance. Naruto then tried to move only to feel a jolt of pain come from his now basically healed wound, which ended up making him accidentally enter what could only be called his inner world to think. Damn, this injury still fucking hurts. I guess that makes sense seeing as that attack did cause serious damage to me, but I don't have the time needed to just sit here and let it finish properly. I need to move and fight if I want to complete this mission. Naruto thought, cursing the fact that he let himself get hit this bad to begin with. You are still so weak, Nijin, even after learning about that damn bloodline. Pathetic, but I refuse to have even my holder lose to the clan I hate the most. Let me give you a taste of what power actually feels like. The dark voice mumbles out to Naruto from deep in his subconscious. Wait, what? That must have been, but he never talked before Naruto thought for a bit before a surge of chakra pushed him out of his own representation of his mind. Though when he came back to the real world only a few moments seemed to pass, seeing as Sasuke was still just glaring at him. But he was just as surprised as said Uchiha when visible red chakra roared out of him, easily equaling or maybe even doubling the amount of chakra he had at the start of the fight. So, this is just a small taste of his chakra. Just how much power do the Biju have if this is already easily twice the amount of chakra I have in my reserves? Naruto mentally questioned, but instead of worrying about it, he refocused on the fight, but now was even more confident that he would win, seeing as there was so much chakra flowing through him, seeming to heal any injury or exhaustion he felt. So, with a grin, Naruto quickly brought his fingers into a cross and called out, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." Creating 30 clones that charged at Sasuke, who quickly began to take care of the clones. Though what he wasn't able to see is the fact that 2 of the clones were staying back and seemed to be focusing hard to mold a large amount of chakra, while the real Naruto formed what currently was his strongest attack, the Rasengan. For soon enough the clones that were used as a distraction were destroyed by Sasuke, but as soon as they were, golden chain flew at him from 2 directions and quickly wrapped around his arms and pulled them in separate directions, keeping him from using his hands for anything. Though what surprised him more was the fact that he could feel the chain suppress his chakra and had to actually struggle to keep his immature Sharingan active. But that wasn't on his mind for long before he was shocked yet again when he saw the real Naruto rush at him with a spinning ball of chakra that soon was slammed into his gut. After he was hit, the chains disappeared, leaving his body to start spinning due to the attack and be launched into the wall hard enough to create a dent in the rock. Though somehow, he was able to stay conscious through this and coughed up blood before trying to glare at the blonde, only to find his sight was slightly blurry. It was really worth all that chakra to get a good hit on the bastard. I mean, mother suppression chains are really hard to make and use a lot of chakra, then again I guess she was used to using them and probably had a lot more chakra than me. Naruto thought, figuring the fight would just be about over due to how much damage he knew his jutsu created, but still watched the Uchiha carefully. Ugh, damn, how did the dope manage to do something like that? I see he must have used a large amount of his reserves on all of that and figured that it would be enough to finish of me. But he didn't realize that the elite Uchiha blood in me made me strong enough to survive his best attack with only a bit of damage and dizziness thanks to the spin. Sasuke thought even as he looked at the wound, seeing as he figured it only was enough to knock the wind out of him and clearly did not puncture his body. Of course, when he tried to move, a large jolt of pain spread through him, making him quickly rethink how injured he was. No, this is not possible, I refuse to lose. He thought, enraged, but quickly felt this anger and rage become stronger in his mind as he felt a strange chakra come from his curse mark. Course, seeing as it was giving him power, he simply let it run its course while enjoying the feeling of new power, but also felt his body itself seem to change and become stronger as well. So this is the taste of power those sound ninja were talking about. This is great. All of my injuries are gone and I feel much more powerful than I ever have been before. Sasuke thought happily and stood up from the hole that his body created. What the hell? Was only Naruto's thought as he looked at his old teammate that now looked like a bat. For he now had gray skin with black marks on his body and even had 2 wings coming from his back that seemed to look more like webbed hands. Though the fact that Sasuke was now easily standing and smirking also put him on edge, knowing that the fight that he once thought was over is now far from that. Force feeling the chakra that now was around Sasuke, Naruto couldn't help but notice how impure it felt. After all, it seemed to be even fouler than even the chakra he used when feeling pure rage. Just what kind of being could make chakra that is even darker and sinister than actual Biju chakra? Naruto couldn't help but think as he looked at the new version of Sasuke. Though this didn't last long before Sasuke surprised him by moving much faster than he did before and was hit in the gut hard enough to make his own crater on the other side of the valley. Gee, how does it feel, dope, now that I returned the favor? Sasuke asked Naruto as he let the blonde recover from the attack now that he felt invincible. Man, all of this power. This really should belong to an elite like me, and so does all of what the snake will be giving me as well. Sasuke mumbled to himself, happily feeling the foul chakra at his disposal. Ugh was all Naruto could push out after the initial punch. Well, that was much stronger than before. I really am going to have to use all of the Kyuubi's chakra just to hopefully be able to beat him now that he has been powered up. Naruto thought, knowing that anything given or created by Orochimaru should be dealt with using as much caution as possible, and the new Sasuke would surely fall under that category. So even though he knew as well that the Kyuubi's chakra was dangerous as well, he still pulled upon everything that was given to him and even unconsciously pulled more from the seal and fell to his hands as a cloak of the bubbling red chakra came around his body and created a single tail behind him. Then after it formed, it seemed to condense even farther, creating more of a shell around him. Though he paid no mind to this and instead quickly charged at Sasuke again and began their fight again. This time though, while Sasuke was still using his normal fighting, still Naruto ended using a more animalistic style that somehow was ingrained into his mind as he used the Kyuubi's chakra. Still, after a while both of them took several hits but didn't seem affected by them too much, but the damage that was now shown in the rocks around them showed just how brutal their fight was at the moment. Still their eyes never left each other, with both of their blood-red eyes trying to figure out their opponent's next move would be. After all, both of them now knew that their taijutsu had little effect on each other, and while Sasuke was able to use jutsu easily, still unlike Naruto, he was at a slight advantage there. Meanwhile, Naruto had the advantage using pure chakra molding and manipulation, seeing as he instinctively used the cloak's abilities as well as his normal bloodline moves. Of course, after a while Naruto did just that and stretched the chakra claw toward Sasuke, trying to cut him with the nails that, thanks to the dense layer of chakra, were more like hardened blades rather than untouchable chakra. Though in the end this was easily avoided but caused them to have a large amount of area between each other yet again. Gee, well dope, I have to admit that you were a decent match, but I must end it now seeing as I really need to get to my new sensei. Sasuke told the blonde, then without even needing hand signs forced lighting chakra to coat his hands into a chidori that was extremely overpowered. Fine team, we will finish this fight now. After all, I need to drag your hopeless ass back to Konoha before dark. Naruto told him in his demonic voice and brought a hand up to form a blood-red Rasengan that he forced as much chakra into as possible and condensed it as far as it would go. They both then launched at each other and slammed their attacks together, causing a wave of power to be sent out just from the two overpowered moves fighting for dominance. They then stood there trying to force through each other's attacks that could clearly be heard fighting against each other. Though after a while both of the attacks slowly began to weaken thanks to their fight, but seeing this, Suke tried to force his hand through the attack even more. This action caused his hand attack to move just slightly, and instead of hitting head-on, grinded on the side enough that both attacks pushed past each other and hit the opponent. So, within moments Sasuke was sent slamming back into one side of the wall, while Naruto hit the other side as the force pushed him back, causing two dust clouds to form. On one side, Naruto, groaning in pain, forced himself through the debris and shakily stood up, feeling pain from his chest. He then looked down and saw that he had yet again been hit hard enough to cause a massive cavity on his chest, but was still shy of finishing him off. Of course, this just made Naruto think about how close he was to dying, now that Biju Chakra created bloodlust fog over his mind was gone. For when Sasuke's attack hit him, it still had easily enough force to pierce through his body completely and hit his lung, but was weakened even more by the hardened shell of chakra that was the key reason he didn't have a hole in his body to deal with. Ugh, I am happy that the Kyuubi's chakra saved my ass for that, though I really need to learn how to have a shell of defense like that for any fights. I mean, it just proved how good of a defense it truly could be. Naruto thinks, then looks over to where Sasuke hit and saw that the power he got from the curse mark went away and the Uchiha was out cold with debris still covering him. Yeah, it really was the only reason this fight wasn't a draw for us. Naruto thought, then slowly tried to make his way over to Sasuke, while forcing himself to ignore the pain and damage that not only the fight gave him, but also the Kyuubi chakra. Though before he reached Sasuke, he was shocked to find out that all of a sudden, he had a blade sticking out of his gut. What? Was all that he could force out as he tried looking to see who literally stabbed him in the back. Well, I didn't accept Sasuke-kun to be beaten. I guess you really have been working hard to get strong, haven't you, Naruto-kun? He heard the person say behind him before taking the blade out of him, letting his body fall to the ground. The person then walked in front of Naruto towards Sasuke, letting Naruto finally see who it was. Orochimaru. Naruto forced out, trying his best to glare at the traitor while in immense pain. Yes, Naruto-kun. My team was taking so long to deliver my newest student that I just had to find out what was wrong. Orochimaru told him, then picked up the unconscious Uchiha. But I did not expect my elite team to be stopped by a group of newly graduate genin. If they aren't dead, I must make sure to punish them. He casually told Naruto, showing just how little he cared about anyone of his own ninja. Of course, before Naruto could even try to force a comment out, he quickly left, leaving Naruto to bleed out on the ground as rain quickly started to fall. Damn it. Was all Naruto could think of before his world went black. Foolish kid. Nearly losing to a single Nijin. Pathetic. Was the first thing Naruto heard when he woke up and found himself in a large sewer system. What Kyuubi? Was Naruto's first response before he shook off the fogginess he felt in his head. Well, what do you expect? Even if he was a bastard, he still trained to be a good ninja. He then added. The Uchiha brat may have trained, but you trained much more. You had a good amount of your clan jutsu that you never even used. You had a bloodline that could easily restrain and keep your opponent away, and you fought him head-on. Kid, you didn't think, and that is why I was forced to help a sorry bastard like you. I warn you, next time you fight you better use what you know. I refuse to have a weak jailer. Even if I plan on getting out of here as soon as possible. Kyuubi told him after his cage seemed to just appear out of nothing right behind Naruto. His figure at the moment was completely blocked by darkness, only showing his eyes and his teeth whenever he spoke, making him a terrifying sight for anyone except Naruto, who was used to it. Though the most interesting part of the cage for Naruto when he turned to look at the fox was that he was now standing on what looked to be a field of grass. Well, that is new. Naruto couldn't help but think until the fox's words sunk into his own thoughts and he clenched his teeth in annoyance. Damn, fuzzball actually is making sense. I could have done that much better, but thanks to finally feeling strong in my life for once I got way too cocky. I will have to work on that. Naruto admitted to himself before sitting down with his legs crossed, unconsciously making himself float on top of the water. Yeah, that fight probably could have gone better, fuzzball, I will admit that, though any clue how long I will be stuck in my mind world. I want to see how the others did, Naruto asked the fox, clearly concerned with his teammates, which made the Kyuubi blink in surprise. This kid actually admitted that I was right. Usually my jailers only just try and ignore me no matter what and just try to steal my chakra, and he actually cares more about his team for a reason to get out of here, rather than wanting to get away from me. This kid is a strange Nijin. The Kyuubi thought before responding to the blonde. Even with my chakra and your own regeneration healing you, that snake bastard's blade is slowing down the process, seeing as it automatically added poison that tried to make your blood thinner and take longer to clot, so even though the process has been going on for the 2 days you were out cold. Meaning you probably will have to wait a few more of the real world hours before you can wake up, meaning maybe a full day in your mind world. Kyuubi told him honestly and expected him to complain, though was surprised yet again by the fact Naruto just said thanks and sat down and simply seemed to be meditating to anyone who could see him. But to the fox, who even when it is a mind version of the blonde could read his mind a bit, could tell he was going over his last mission to try and see what he needed to work on. This Nijin. Kyuubi began to think, surprised before simply just forgetting it and curling up to rest after spending a good amount of time watching the blonde heal. Hospital. Haku, Sakura, Ino, and Hinata were all sitting in a clean white room that currently held the still unconscious Naruto. They have spent a good amount of time of the past 2 days just waiting and worrying about Naruto. Course AM also came in to watch over him as well, but due to having a job as a civilian, she still was pretty busy, even though she wanted to be there. Still, she didn't force herself to go to work until Haku, Ino, and Hinata told her they would tell her when he woke up right away if she was stuck at work. Which just shows that they were all worrying about their boyfriend's safety, seeing as they saw the injuries he came in with, and Sakura would tell you she is simply worried about her teammate. Of course, both Ino and Hinata also checked up on their own teammates as well, but Kiba was released from the hospital yesterday, and Choji was simply staying another night under watch after he was successfully healed, though Ino couldn't help but smile a bit when she remembered the reaction her get well present got. Flashback, Naruto's day 2 of healing, Aka day before. Ugh, man, this sucks. I mean, the hospital food is so bad even I can barely call it food. Choji complained after he woke up from his emergency medical session. Well, Choji, at least you will be leaving tomorrow, and then you will be able to eat all you want anywhere you want. Shikamaru told his teammate, who smiled and began to drool at the thought. Still, I am sorry that I let all of you guys get so injured. He added, upset, looking down at his hands which only had a splint on one of his fingers. Hey Shikamaru, don't worry about it, we all knew what could happen on the mission and still accepted. Remember, we are all ninja, and we all know that at any time, that might happen to us. Choji told him in one of his rare serious times. Shikamaru was about to respond when the door opening up suddenly stopped him. Both of the guys then saw Ino walking and carrying a large tray of food. Food. Choji called out, happily drooling at the sight of the food, and would have ran over to her if he still didn't feel weak. This of course only made Ino chuckle and walk over to the food lover to let him eat what he wanted after they helped him sit up. Yes, and it is all for you, Choji, seeing as the doctors said that you have no restrictions anymore, besides having to get some rest and relaxation. Ino told him and then watched him used as he finished the food nearly as fast as Naruto with ramen. Ah, that hit the spot. Thank you so much, Ino. Choji told her, happily rubbing his belly. Though I would never think that you would ever be the one letting me eat as much as I wanted, not that I mean to be offensive by saying that. He told her, adding the last part fearing she would get mad at him. Saya, Choji, I know I was like that before with my dieting craze, but I outgrew that. I mean, both me and Sakura have decided to stop that after we became determined to become better ninja, and when we told Hinata, Tenten, and Haku that, they all immediately explained the problems with Kunoichi dieting. Ino told them, remembering how against it the girls were. Plus, as much as I have to admit that you look good as your new skinny self, it just isn't the look for you. Now that I am not obsessed with only looks, I can honestly say you would just not be you without your normal weight. Ino told him honestly, and instead of getting mad at the comment that could be taken as a fat joke, he simply smiled at his friend. Thanks for finally understanding, Ino. He told her, happy that she wouldn't bug him constantly about his clan's desire to be chubby. Still, I figured you would be busy for most of your time worrying about Naruto, seeing as he is your boyfriend and was the most injured of us all. Choji told his friend. Well, I am really worried about Imenyemi, and the rest of us do spend a lot of time just hoping that he wakes up when we aren't too busy to be with him. But still, I have known you two for all my life. So, how much of a cold-hearted girl would I have to be to forget about one of my closest friends when he is injured? She told him, shocking the now skinny boy quite a bit. Though he didn't let it affect him much and instead just enjoyed the fact they both visited him, and they all simply talked for a bit before Ino finally decided to go check up on Naruto yet again before the hospital visiting hours ended. Course, when she left, both of the boys were silent for a moment before their conversation turned to their female teammate. Man, if I knew Naruto would rub off so much on her, I would have tried to bring them together ages ago, just so she wouldn't be so troublesome. Shikamaru commented while stretching his arms out over his head. Yay, I mean, sure, at first I was kind of worried about what her treatment in a Kra harem would be, even if she was mean to us for several of the academy years. But now I am with you on that idea. I mean, after he got her off of being stuck on the Uchiha, she changed her focus from becoming more beautiful to being a better ninja. Plus, it is nice that she seems to have gotten some of Naruto's personality as well, seeing as I doubt that our love-crazed friend would have ever put thought into who her precious people are. Choji admitted, seeing as he enjoyed being around the new Ino. Flashback end. When she came back this morning, she brought up a breakfast to Choji as well, just to make up for some of the things she said to him when she was in what she liked to call immature phase. But after that, she quickly went to see her new love interest, who as expected was still sleeping peacefully on the hospital bed. While he looked peaceful, if one was to look at his chest, they would see a large red area where the poison that was on whatever stab the blonde tried to eat away at. Naruto-kun, what happened to you and who did this? Ino thought, worried knowing that Sasuke never touched poisons while he was in Konoha, so it couldn't be him. Course, the rest of the girls around him were also just as curious as to what happened as well, especially Haku, who wanted to try and get revenge on whoever hurt her master while she wasn't there to protect him. Course, it was at this time that she finally remembered something that she forgot about before. Oh, wait, I am such a fool. How could I forget that this is what my clan's own information gathering jutsus are for? Ino thought before walking up to Naruto's head while doing hand signs, making the rest of the girls curious. Course, they didn't get any time to ask her a question before she already used her jutsu to enter Naruto's mind. Mindscape. Now let's see, first step is to create a physiological representation of Naruto's mind. She began to think and planned to make the world she could move around in and look for information in before she realized that she was already in a massive solar system. Okay, so he already has one. I thought Dad said that almost all people never really have the ability to make their own mind world. Strange. Still, I guess I better just go find the information I am looking for. She thought, shrugging of the weirdness before moving through the sewers, but surprisingly not really feeling her feet getting wet even though they were in water. Course, while doing this, she attempted to float around and look like you were supposed to in the world they created, but in this one something seemed to be stopping her from doing so. Still, she walked around the system looking for where his memories would be before eventually entering a very large room. Looking around said room, she saw that its walls were just like the rest of the system, but in this room, half of it seemed to be split off by massive bars, and beyond said bars was what appeared to be grass. Though the most surprising thing for her is that she saw what looked to be an unconscious Naruto sitting near the bars looking into them. So, she quickly grew curious as to why the bars were there and began walking up to them and nearly went through them before all of a sudden she felt her breath leave her as a massive amount of chakra that was darker than anything she ever felt before appeared and forced her to her knees. What is this chakra? It feels like extremely condensed Kai. But that is impossible, Naruto, just what kind of chakra do you have? She thought, now slightly worried before she looked around the cage and this time nearly had a heart attack as she saw two massive eyes staring down at her. Well, what do you know, the kid's mind walking vixen actually came into his mind, eh? Well, I guess I should show her why a Jinchuriki's mind isn't something the unprepared should enter. The Kyuubi called out with an evil smile growing on his face as he launched a wave of his dense chakra at the girl that would easily cause chakra burns and corrosion on whatever parts of her body it touched, and seeing as what happened in the mind realm happened to her in the real world, that would have been really bad. Though right before it could hit her, a blur got in front of her and took the hit. Gee, damn spoil sport. Kyuubi muttered before falling back asleep now that his chance of fun was gone. What are you doing here, Ino-chan? Ino heard a voice kindly tell her and quickly looked back in the direction she saw the beast, only to see Naruto looking at her worried. Well, I was just trying to figure out what happened to you, seeing as Kakashi-sensei had no idea. Ino admitted. Sorry for entering your mind without your permission. I know it was wrong and you can get me reprimanded when you wake up if you want. I was just worried. But before you do, what was that thing? Ino told him, going from upset to afraid only to be surprised that Naruto hugged her. Ino, I am not mad that you entered my mind. After all, I would be worried if one of you girls were in the hospital for so long, with no one knowing why or how. Plus, with your clan's ability, that temptation of finding out must have been too much to ignore. Naruto told her, trying to comfort her, seeing as he hated seeing anyone upset. Just if there is a next time you come into my mind, make sure I am able to show you around to what you need, or that you are prepared. Seeing as that thing, as you called it, is the Kyuubi, he is my sealed resident, as you found out about a while ago. Naruto told her honestly. That was the Biju that attacked years ago. I don't know how people ever found the willpower to fight that massive creature. Ino mumbled, feeling a shiver of terror run through her body. Yay, it is amazing what people will do when pushed, though Ino, if you don't mind, can you leave my mind for now, seeing as I will be able to explain what happened myself when I wake up in a few hours, but it means a lot to know someone finally is worrying about my safety. Naruto told her honestly, and she simply nodded her head and dismissed her just to, and began to fade from Naruto's mind, with her last thought being how sad he seemed talking about people worrying about his safety. It must be because of the childhood all of us in the village gave him. Was her last thought. Then she returned to the outside world. Outside WORLD. When Ino came out of her jutsu, she first tried to walk to the others, but stumbled for a moment before getting her footing again, and sat down next to the others, now tired, feeling mentally tired. Course, she then realized that all of the others in the room were still staring at her with curiosity clear on their faces. So, what happened? Sakura asked her friend, knowing exactly what she just did. Well, I wasn't able to learn anything from Naruto's mind. His defenses were too good even when he was out cold. So, I can't say who or how this happened to him, but I do know he should be waking up in a few hours, seeing as his mental persona told me. Ino told them, causing all of them to smile at that. Equals 2 hours later equals. Naruto slowly began to finally feel himself leaving his mental world and began to feel the soreness that his body still felt. Soon after, he was able to smell all of the chemicals around him, making him realize he was in the hospital. Of course, he didn't let this disappointment stop him from opening his eyes, slowly blinking away the blurriness that he soon saw, and eventually looked around the room to see 4 excited people standing close to the bed. But you are finally awake, Naruto-kun, Hinata mumbled out, relieved. Yay, how are you feeling, Naruto? Sakura asks the blonde. Ugh, I feel sore. Still sorry for making you guys worry, it seems like that is all I have been doing recently. Naruto mumbles out, even though his throat felt dry and coughed a few times. Course, before he could even ask for something, Haku was already close to him with a cup of water. Do not worry, Naruto-sama, this is just a part of being ninja for our village, though who did this so I may know who to kill for harming my master? Haku asked him after letting him drink the water. Someone that I don't want you to fight, Haku-chan. But if you really must know, I suppose you can see if you can sit in for the report. I am sure Bachan will want soon, I am sure. Naruto told them, not wanting to explain his first failed mission more than once. Fine, Haku told him after a moment of realizing he didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, right now it is just good to have my fellow blonde awake again. I mean, you have no idea how worried we were for the 2 days it took you to do so. Ino quickly added, getting away from a touchy subject. I guess, though why did you girls wait so long? All of you had to have much better stuff to do than just looking after a sleeping person. Naruto asked them briefly, having his thoughts flash back to the times where he woke up as a child in the hospital after a beating with only a letter and present from Sarutobi, explaining he had to do his job but wanted him to get well. Are you crazy, Naru-kun? We are your girlfriends, of course we would care enough about you to put seeing you and taking care of you while you are injured above anything else we could be doing. Ino told him, shocked that he would think they would do that. Why, yay, Naruto-kun, we all care for you. Hinata shyly confirmed, shocking the blonde even more. He then just looked at each one of the people around him and saw nothing but concern and care. They all truly do care for me, so this is truly what having loved ones feels like. I think I like this new warm feeling. Naruto thought, happy now that they broke him from his thoughts of his bad past. Thank you girls for caring, was all he told them, but they didn't realize what just that alone meant to a Jinchuriki. Course, it still brought a smile to each of the girls' faces. Wow, they all really do care for each other. Sakura thought, beginning to get lost in thought, looking at the lovers with longing in her eyes. Course, this moment only lasted a minute or two before Naruto remembered where he was. Girls, as much as I enjoy all of you around me, can one of you get someone to check up on me to release me from the hospital? I really don't like this place. Naruto asked, making them all laugh a bit. Sure, Naruto, it is just funny how you are fine doing anything else, but when it comes to a hospital you try and avoid them no matter what. Ino told him, still laughing now, remembering how they had a day of school where they all had to go to the hospital for a physical exam to make sure they were all healthy enough to be ninja. For during that time, Naruto not only tried to skip the day of school, but also managed to escape from the class 2 times in comical ways, only to be dragged back by Iruka, who even threatened to tie him up to make him go with the class. Course Naruto just blushed out of embarrassment. I can't help it if this place is terrible. Blame the people that made it all white and make it always smell like nasty chemicals. Naruto mumbled out, making the girls laugh yet again until Ino left to get someone to check on Naruto. Equals little, while later equals. When a doctor finally came in, they quickly ran a scanning jutsu over Naruto and eventually found that he was good enough to leave the hospital, much to the pleasure of said blonde. So, he quickly prepared to leave the room and get as far away from it as he could, and found that Haku actually managed to quickly go to their house to get him a clean pair of clothes, which was rewarded with a quick kiss on the lips. Needless to say, this caused said girl to blush a bit at the unexpected kiss, but still had a small smile on her face after it. Course eventually Naruto came back to the girls wearing said clothes and happily brought them all out of the hospital. So, what should we do now, gals? Naruto asked, happily not able to try and figure out what he wanted to do first after getting out of the hospital. Well, Naruto-kun, we told Am-san that we would tell her when you woke up, so it would be best to go to the stand now. Hinata told her boyfriend, who smiled back at her. Great idea, Hinata-chan. Not only do we get to see Am-chan after such a long nap, but also get some ramen, Naruto tells her, happily giving her a tight hug before walking a bit faster towards the shopping district for his ramen, leaving the rest of the girls to wake up a surprised blushing Hinata before following after their hyper boyfriend, or in Sakura's case teammate. I guess Naruto-kun is really hyper now that he is out of the hospital and he did spend 2 days knocked out. He must have a lot of energy to burn. Hinata began to think right after the hug, which quickly continued to become her own little fantasy that she stayed in blushing the whole time until she was woken up by the rest of the group. Course after this they made it to the stand relatively fast and all sat down on the stools. Hello and welcome to Naruto. Am began saying, then when she saw Naruto she was shocked for a moment before giving him a tight hug. Thank God you are finally awake, Naruto-kun, we were all so worried about you. She added, and while still holding him tight. Am-san, you may want to loosen up your hold on him or he might pass out. Sakura gently told Am, only for her to look at Naruto and begin to see him go blue. Oh, Naruto, I am so sorry. She quickly tells him and lets him out of the hug. It is okay, Am-chan, I am just happy that all of you girls are somehow happy being with someone like me. Naruto says with a weak smile. Don't say that, Naruto-kun, even though we have to share we do so willingly just because we all love you that much. You aren't a bad person for having to date multiple girls, and we can all tell that you are trying your best to keep us all happy. Hinata told him, shocking the rest of the group seeing as she didn't even stutter at all. Course after Naruto got over that and thought about what Hinata said, he blushed out of embarrassment and rubs the back of his head. Thank you, I guess, Hinata, but honestly, with your girl's beauty while still working hard and not being snotty, you all really deserve to be treated like the princesses you are, in my opinion. Naruto told them, not really knowing how to explain himself. Course he still managed to get each one of his girlfriends to blush at this comment. Oh, thank you, Naruto-kun. I think you deserve a reward. Ino told the blonde, then glanced over to Am with a smile that somehow was brought to her face as well, and they both leaned over to Naruto and kissed him on both cheeks at the same time, causing Naruto to blush, not knowing what to do. Well, it looks like we surprised our favorite blonde boy a bit. Am told the group, giggling before she heard Naruto's stomach growl. I guess I should take care of that as well. She added with a laugh before taking all the other girls' orders and went back to prep the meal, seeing as she already knew what Naruto always gets. Well, I guess I should have expected something like this. Still, it is so awkward being the third wheel, so to speak. I really need to find someone. Sakura thought as she watched the scene she accidentally was stuck in the middle of. Still, even with Sakura feeling out of place, the whole group still had a good meal, happily talking to each other, with Am joining in whenever there weren't more customers coming in. Eventually they all had their fill, and the group headed towards the Hokage Tower, seeing as Naruto still had to give Tsunade his report, and the girls were all curious about what happened. Though when they learned exactly what happened, all the girls were either horrified or enraged. Still, eventually he finished and Naruto was finally able to leave and head back home to rest, and all the rest of the group felt like they wanted to do the same thing, although they still had a lot of the day left. So, Naruto quickly made a few clones and ordered them to walk each one of them home, making each one of them even happier at their boyfriend's attempt to be the proper guy. Ino's HOUSE. With Ino, she happily walked home with her arm holding on to Naruto's until they eventually made it back to her clan house, and she kissed the clone on the lip to say goodbye and quickly ran inside, not seeing the surprised blush she created before the clone dispelled. Though when she made it inside, she quickly went to find her father. The search made her eventually reach his home office, where he was looking through a few scrolls. Hey dad. Yes, Ino, what is it? Inoichi asked, putting down his scroll. Well, is it possible for people to have an inner world without us needing to create it? Well, I suppose that it is possible if said person used their mind a lot. But that is very unlikely seeing as even genjutsu users who have to use their intelligence and therefore their jutsu, so meeting one is next to impossible more than likely. In fact, I can only think of 2 people in this village that might be possible to have an inner world. Inoichi told her. Why do you ask? Well, I was curious what happened to Naruto, so I, might have entered his mind while he was still out cold to try and find out what happened to him. She told him, then flinched back, expecting him to be mad at her for invading someone's privacy. Course at first she just saw her father take a deep breath before looking at her. Well, I am disappointed that you broke clan rules. I will let you go with only a warning. Though you must tell Naruto, and if he so desires that he can get you punished for it if he doesn't already know you did it. But as for his mind, he is a special case. Inoichi told her seriously. Yes, I have already told him, seeing as I saw him in his own mind. But when you say special case, do you mean the fact that he is a Jinchuriki? She asked, relieved he isn't too mad at her, but still noticed him freeze up when she said Jinchuriki. First off, do not tell anyone else about that, seeing as that is supposed to be a secret that only a few know of, and you could be punished for knowing if the wrong person told you. He told her seriously, only for cutting him off. Well, Naruto was the one who told us after we asked about the seal on his chest. She quickly told him, afraid of punishment from the village, which usually started with going to the T&I's area, which everyone fears. Well, then that is fine. Just don't tell people that you know and you will be fine. But I guess seeing as you do, I can explain why his mind is a bit different. You see, due to his condition of having a demon sealed into his body itself, Naruto's mind is changed. For the demon somehow pushes its conscious through the seal so that it is able to represent itself within the holder's mind. It then tries its hardest to make the person used in the seal to either release them or let them do what they want. This of course puts a lot of strain on their minds. Course also due to the fact that people don't understand the sealing process fully, they treat the person differently, putting even more strain on their minds. Due to this, they always have enough mental parts, shall we say, to build their own mind realm. Though these are very dangerous for mind walkers like us. For within that area there are large pathways for both the Jinchuriki's own chakra, which is usually massive, and also a pathway for the demonic chakra that the seal siphons off from the beast, which is highly corrosive to those not used to it. Inoichi explains, and Ino instantly pictures the red chakra that was about to hit her only to be blocked. So that means just that small amount of chakra would have severely hurt me if Naruto-kun didn't block it. She realized mentally, thanking the blonde for saving her from a lot pain and even possibly her untimely death. Course as she thought this, her father continued his explanation. Now the most dangerous part of this is the bead itself, which, while the seal stops it from being able to harm the host directly, does not stop it from being able to attack any mind walkers that enter what could be considered its territory. This is why anyone entering a Jinchuriki's mind needs to use extreme caution, or else they more than likely to die. Inoichi tells her remember all the times he needed to enter the blonde's mind to make sure that he was still sane. A job that put a bitter taste into not only his mouth but everyone who knew about it. For all of them knew the main reason it had to be done was due to the villagers treating the unlucky blonde like trash. So, I highly recommend that you never try to enter his mind until you are much more skilled in our clan's jutsu. And even then only do so if absolutely necessary. He finished telling his daughter, realizing that he shook her up quite a bit now that she realized what danger she was unknowingly in. Thank you, father. She stuttered out and left to go relax and sort out her own thoughts for a bit. The next morning Naruto woke up to hearing a knock on his apartment's door. So, he tried to rub the tiredness out of his eyes and get up, but was stopped from moving when he noticed that there was a now familiar weight on his side. For looking down, he saw a now waking up Haku right next to him in her normal sleepwear. Of course, he could only mumble out a quick good morning before wiggling out of her hole to see who woke him up earlier than he wanted to. Hello, Naruto mumbled out while opening the door, only to see an Anbu standing there, and quickly got more focused. Hokage-sama requires your presence in her office immediately. The man told Naruto before quickly disappearing from the area. Well, I guess I have to go see what Bachan wants. Naruto told himself before walking back into the apartment to get ready. Then after that small amount of time he began his trip towards the Hokage tower, though not before giving Haku a quick hug. Hokage TOWER. Hey Bachan, what's up? Naruto happily asks as he runs into the room without even bothering to knock. Course after he made it in, he saw Tsunade sitting at her desk with Shikamaru standing in front of her. Though the thing that drew his attention the most was two Chunin jackets laying on the table. Damn Gaki, about time you got here, and stop calling me that, Tsunade growled out at the blonde before letting it go and simply getting Naruto to stand next to Shikamaru. Anyways, after reviewing both of your exams, the council and I have agreed that both you, Shikamaru Nara and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, should be promoted to the rank Chunin. May you continue to serve this village and keep the will of fire burning. Tsunade told them, clearly giving a basic speech made for this ceremony, especially since she then went into a long explanation of their new rules and expectations. Troublesome was all that came out of the Nara boy's mouth as he put on his new jacket, though you could see that he was proud of himself just by the look in his eyes. Meanwhile, Naruto had a large smile on his face as he took the jacket, but didn't put it on, seeing as he already was wearing a Chunin uniform. Of course, after they received their new rank, Tsunade dismissed both of them and they happily walked out of her office. "So, Shikamaru, how does it feel to know that we are the first of the group to get a higher rank?" Naruto asked the lazy boy happily. "It will be troublesome to have new responsibilities, but at least it will keep my mother off my back for a while." Shikamaru mumbled out with a short yawn at the end. "Though how are you so happy even though that mission went so bad?" Shikamaru asked the blonde, remembering why he was so stressed that he couldn't get nearly as much sleep as he wanted. "How are you so happy? After all, it was your teammate that left and all of us got pretty badly hurt on my watch. Not to mention that you were the worst of us all with even poison blocking your healing factor." Shikamaru though as he watched the blonde lose his smile and get serious. "Shikamaru, what happened in that mission happened, we can't do anything to fix it. So, what if the bastard left with our resident bastard? We tried our best to stop him and didn't manage to due to being overpowered. It is best just to look past failures and work harder to not have another. Though at least we all came back from this failure." Naruto told his friend, who looked surprised. "How can you be this calm when not only did we fail, but everyone got hurt but me? I mean, you all were stuck in the hospital for days in critical condition. And you were the worst off." "Yes, but we all made it through," Naruto told him with a shrug, shocking the genius even more. "But you all nearly died. Under my command. I basically sent you to your deaths." Shikamaru told him, ashamed of how badly he performed during the mission, but stopped his depressing thoughts out of surprise when he felt Naruto grab his shoulder. "Listen, Shikamaru, you did the best you could and probably better than any of us could. You just didn't know what we were gonna face and had no way to know that either. Plus, we are ninja, we know that we may die at any time and are at peace with it. So, don't beat yourself up over one tough mission. We need that brain of yours to stay sharp and lead us next time." Naruto told him, then gave him a pat on the back. "Now let's go celebrate with the gang with a few bowls of ramen," Naruto told Shikamaru, who was still standing in the same place before shaking his head and slowly following his fast pace back out into the village. "Naruto, I never will understand how you are able to make people feel better after a few simple words. People may think you are stupid, but you do have some skills that it seems people just aren't aware of," he thought as he followed the blonde at a slower pace. A few hours later, Akimichi Grill in Bar. Not sure what the actual place is, but picture the restaurant you see Shikamaru and the rest of his team eating at. Not sure if it was ever named, but it suits a restaurant to be with their family. After a bit of effort, Naruto managed to get most of the other teams to come and have a celebration with him for lunch. In fact, the only people that couldn't make it was Neji due to his duty to his clan and the traitor, Sasuke. Though instead Naruto managed to talk Jiraiya, Tsunade, Anko, Iruka, AM, Haku, Konohamaru and his friends to come with them. "Thanks everyone for coming to eat with us as me and Shikamaru celebrate our rank up," Naruto called out happily to their large group before sitting down between Hinata and AM. This also ended up being the seats right across from Haku and Ino, who currently looked slightly annoyed with their two harem sisters. "Gee, next time I will win the good seats," Ino thought, slightly glaring at AM, who took advantage of sitting close to Naruto to draw him in for a hug and a kiss on the cheek for a congratulations gift. "Why did my luck have to be so terrible that I couldn't even sit next to my master in case he wanted me to help him?" Haku thought, slightly depressed even as she blushed at the thought of happily feeding Naruto as he smiled at her. Of course both of them only were disappointed, seeing as their small group had drawn straws to see who would sit with Naruto, which ended up leaving AM and Hinata as the winners. Still, this didn't keep them down for too long, seeing as the party soon started up with everyone talking and enjoying themselves as food was passed around. So, all in all, everyone was having a good time with their friends. "Wow, Akamaru, who would have thought that Naruto of all people would have ever gotten ahead of us in rank?" Kiba told his dog, then laughed at the glare Naruto was giving him. "Shut up, Kibble breath, you are just jealous," Naruto growled at the brown-haired boy. "Gee, as if anyone could be jealous of someone who was the class's idiot," Kiba muttered, causing Naruto to glare at him. "Boy, stop it now," Hinata ordered both of them in a tone that both of them didn't even think she could possess. In fact, she even was slightly glaring at them to show how serious she was. This stopped their argument fast, seeing as they were too shocked to hear Hinata not only being louder than normal, but also gave an order. "Wow, Hinata, I didn't think you had it in ya," Kiba told the girl with a smirk, then looked to Naruto. "Looks like you managed to find the perfect person to keep your stupidity in check," Kiba told the blonde with a chuckle. "Shut up," was all Naruto told his friend and old rival before putting a hand over Hinata's shoulder and drawing her in for a one-armed hug. Though it is good to hear you coming out of your shell a bit more, Haim-chan. He then told her, smiling at the shy girl. Of course, at this point all the attention she was getting was making the poor girl blush in embarrassment, which only got darker when Naruto hugged her close. Okay boss, enough flirting, the food is done, so let's eat. Konohamaru called out before grabbing some of the food that was on the grill, an action that the rest of his team soon copied. Brat, Naruto mumbled, lightly blushing due to being embarrassed for calling his actions flirting, but soon let it go and grabbed some food himself, and with that everyone began to eat and continue having a good time. Throughout the party the group all enjoyed themselves and had plenty of their own fun, both talking and messing around with their normal groups. Hey Asuma-sensei, this is your chance. She is right next to you, make a move. Ino whispered to her teacher, who quickly gained a blush and glanced at the beauty next to him. Why did I have to slip up and make the only girl on my team interested in my love life? Now she will take any chance she gets to try and make her show more interesting. Asuma mentally complained to himself but still talked with the woman beside him just to keep Ino from pestering him as much during the meal. Heh, so Ino is trying to be a matchmaker, huh? Anko thought with a smile after overhearing her whisper due to sitting close enough to her. Though Kurenai has always had a small crush on the smoker anyways, so might as well let her have some fun trying to get the idiot to make a move faster, though he is lucky she hasn't tried getting Naruto to help her, then he would be in trouble of much sneakier methods. Anko thought, mentally laughing at the man's predicament before leaning on Iruka's shoulder a bit and remembered what her blonde friend did for them. The party lasted for quite a while, but eventually it had to come to an end with everyone going their separate ways to try and make the most of the rest of the day. Though for Naruto this was one of the more embarrassing parts, seeing as before Jiraiya left with Tsunade to talk about something, he handed Naruto a scroll with a large smile on his face. Congrats brat. Now as a reward for showing just how good of a trainer I am, have something that I am sure you will need later on with the training you are going to want to do with your lovely ladies. The perverted man told Naruto while handing it to him with a large grin on his face. Of course the thought of new training exited the blonde, so he quickly opened the scroll to find several storage seals printed on its paper. So, he quickly pumped some chakra into the first one, curious as to what it was, only to see a familiar orange book. This of course confused him until he realized what his sensei was hinting at and had a deep red blush quickly cover his face. Sadly for him, this made the girls that were with him curious about the gift, so they tried seeing what it was by trying to glance over his shoulder. Noticing this, Naruto quickly resealed the book as fast as he could to try and hide it from the girls and put the scroll before looking over to the Toad Sage. Thank you so much for this, gift. Hiro-san in. Naruto told the old man with a clearly forced smile on his face while trying to stop himself from grabbing a weapon to throw at the perverted man. Of course Jiraiya ignored these facts and only gave Naruto a thumbs up with a grin still on his face. You are welcome brat, just make sure you study hard and practice those techniques as much as you can. He told Naruto, then began to giggle perversely until he was slammed to the ground by a strong punch from Tsunade. I am going to just assume that you deserved that. Now come on pervert, let's talk in the tower. Tsunade told her teammate before quickly saying goodbye to Naruto and the girls before walking away, leaving Jiraiya by himself to recover and make it to her office. Leaving only Naruto and his girlfriends left standing in front of the restaurant. So, Naruto, what did he give you? Ino asked him, still curious. And nothing important, just one of his pranks on me. Naruto told her, taking a moment to decide what to call his gift and hoping that she would leave it at that. Oh, well, can we still see this prank item, Naruto-kun? AM asks the younger boy, who quickly regains his blush and started to try and stutter out an answer. You wouldn't understand it. It was just something that only him and me would understand. So, just forget about it, seeing as I really don't want to explain how my sensei is picking on me. Naruto told her, terrified of the reaction he would get if they actually saw what his training manual actually was. Too bad for him. Ino quickly grabbed the scroll before he could realize it, thanks to being distracted by his nightmare. Ino. Please give that back. Trust me, you don't want to know what the idiot gave me. Naruto told her, practically begging the girl to not open it. Of course this just made her smile mischievously at the blonde. Well, I guess we better look just to make sure, Naru-kun. She told him, then quickly opened the scroll and unsealed one of the books. She then simply stood there for a moment in confusion before finally understanding what Jiraiya meant and began blushing herself. Of course at this point the rest of the girls began to try and look over Ino's shoulder, and Naruto slowly backed away from what he thought would be a group of enraged girls soon enough. Though after all the girls saw what he was hiding, the first thing they all did was blush as well. Who would have thought that one of our village's strongest and most respected ninja would be such a pervert as to give his own student porn as a gift and call it training? All the girls except Hinata couldn't help but blush more as they began thinking more about what they could do for that training. Course this made them all blush even darker, but none of their blushes were darker than Hinata's, who even had a small bit of blood beginning to run out of her nose. So Naruto has a set as well now. Course this book seems like it is the Ichiya that is supposed to be coming out next month. Maybe Naru can let me borrow it and get my books early on seeing as he is so close to Jiraiya-sama. Plus, maybe we could act out a few scenes like page 22 of Ichiya Paradise. Hinata began thinking at the same time as the rest of the girls were reacting though. Instead of thinking about the implied training, she was busy putting herself and Naruto for the scene she has read. Though soon the rest of the girls regained their focus on the real world, while Hinata still daydreamed. Well, Naruto-kun, I really hope you don't become a pervert due to having Jiraiya-sama as your sensei. AM told the boy in front of her with a small smile. What? You aren't mad at me for having those books and having my sensei imply us doing that? Naruto asked the girls, gaining a few giggles from most of them. Naruto-kun, why would we be mad at you for something your sensei gave you? It was a prank pulled on you, so there is no reason to worry about us getting mad about your recently developed porn stash. AM told the blonde, who still was shocked boy. Besides, who knows, maybe if you are good, we will help you train a new skill. AM added and laughed at the full body blush Naruto now sported. Anyways, I need to get back to work so my father doesn't throw a fit. See you later, Naruto-kun. She added before walking away from the group while purposely swaying her hips a bit more in front of the blushing blonde, who of course had his vision glued to the flirting girl. Damn, I will never understand girls. Naruto couldn't help think as he watched one of his girlfriends walk away after not getting mad at his new books and even hinting at sex. Oh Naruto, you are so cute when you are embarrassed. Ino told her boyfriend with a big smile as she pinched his cheek. Though like AM, I need to head to work as well, though still congrats on ranking up, cutie. Ino added in, then gave him a kiss on the cheek that made the blush that was beginning to fade to return with nearly as much force. Though after that he simply shook his head at the fact he would never fully understand the female mind and began walking home with Haku and Hinata, who just returned back to the real world just before seeing Ino give Naruto the kiss. I really wish I had the confidence to do bold moves like Ino can. That's it, my new goal is to get rid of my shyness so I can advance further in my relationship. Hinata thought, now determined to change herself to be able to get closer to her blonde. I am making it so that she betters herself by focusing on Naruto. Which she mainly does in the anime. I am mainly doing this so I can give her some times of being able to publicly display her affection without it seeming completely out of character. I wonder what I should do with the rest of the day. Naruto tried to figure out as he walked back to his house. Course there was many options for him to pick from, but he didn't get to think for too long before he felt a gentle pull on his sleeve. When he turned to see what it was, he saw Hinata gently holding on, looking nervous. Need something, Hinata-hime? Naruto still asked with a small smile. Naru-kun, do you mind helping me train a bit? Hinata asked in her normal quiet voice while shyly poking her fingers together. Sure, Hime, let me just stop by my apartment real quick and we all can go train. Naruto told her happily, not even noticing the pleading look Hinata was giving Haku. Though Haku did notice the look and simply sighed. Actually, Naruto-sama, I have cleaning I wish to do at the house. Please have fun training though. Haku told him while giving a small smile at the Hyuga beside her, who was silently giving the ice user her thanks. Okay then. Just don't work too hard, Haku-chan. Naruto told Haku as they reached the door. He then quickly grabbed some supplies and made sure to drop a thing such as his gift before heading out with Hinata to train. Okay, Hinata, you can do this. Just try your hardest to be more confident, there is no one around so you can do this. Hinata mentally prepped herself for her real training as she walked with the unaware blonde. So, what did you want to work on, Hime-chan? Just some of the basics so I can refine them till I feel they are perfect, and maybe some other things. She quickly told him after trying to think of a substitute for saying to try and be more confident and show you affection. I guess that makes sense, Naruto mumbled, thinking about his own skills now until they reached a training ground to use. Okay, so basics, how will we train this? Naruto mumbled more to himself, trying to figure out how to help Hinata as much as he could. Well, basics for me is my clan katas, Naru-kun, and maybe some weapon practice. Hinata told Naruto, who smiled now that he had an idea. Perfect, then it will be easy to help you out. Naruto told her with a large smile before creating a large number of clones. Okay, so they are going to gang up on you while you try to take them out using only your basics. Now to start off, they will only act like thugs until you want to up the difficulty by having me make them use more and more abilities. Naruto told the girl, who paled a bit but still nodded her head. Well, I may not be able to talk to him now that he sent a large mob of like 300 clones, but at least we can talk during breaks if I last that long. Hinata though as she looked around the large group of her copied boyfriend. How does he even make this many shadow clones anyways? Isn't it supposed to take a lot of chakra? I mean being able to make yourself literally a one-man army is such an overpowered skill. Hinata mentally complained but still got in her stance and signaled for the clones to begin and her spar began. Meanwhile Naruto was a ways away trying to go over all the basics he has as well, trying to improve them somehow as well. Which of course means that he yet again created a mob of clones to fight. Which ended being what both of the two teens did for this training session, much to Hinata's disappointment. Come on Hinata, you nearly beat them all. Naruto called out to the girl trying to motivate her as she faced off against the last 20 of her clone enemies. Of course by now she was soaked in sweat and panting heavily as she watched her opponents for their next attack. For while Naruto was kind and wanted to protect his precious people, he also understood that the better they were the safer they would be, so he was trying to make sure the fight was as real as possible. This is crazy. All I wanted to do was have some alone time with my Naruto-kun, and here I am barely standing while fighting his clone army. Though now I see why his jutsu is so heavily guarded in that scroll, its power is way too much for anyone. After all, with someone with a lot of chakra like Naruto, they literally become one-man armies. Hinata couldn't help but think as she dogged attacks as much as she could while being slowed down by fatigue. For by now even though she was sore and completely exhausted, she was determined to beat all of the clones. It also helps that after that she would be able to take a break and finally get the talk she wanted to have. Plus 40 minutes later plus. Hinata screamed out as she landed a hit finally against the last clone, while now feeling her vision get blurry every now and then. I did it. Hinata mumbled out, now not even caring that she is even less Hyuga than she normally did. Way to go Hinata. Naruto happily called out to the tired girl while running up to talk to her. Course by the time he got there Hinata's balance failed her and she fell over, though thankfully Naruto managed to catch her before she hit the ground. Hinata. Are you okay? Naruto asked the unconscious girl before finally sensing her chakra and noticing just how low it currently was. Oh, Hinata, why did you let me and my clones push you that hard if you were already way too tired? Well, at least you only have a mild case of chakra exhaustion. So for now just enjoy your well-earned rest. Naruto thought as he moved Hinata, so she was comfortably laying on his lap while he leaned against a tree. He also was running his hand through her hair as he looked down at her. Damn it though, why didn't I notice you needed a break sooner? I am a chunin now, so I need to make sure I keep my teammates safe. I need to work on sensing things even while I practice other things. Naruto thought, annoyed with himself, but still didn't move from where he was sitting. A position he quickly got comfortable and simply tried to enjoy the day as he waited for Hinata to wake up no matter how long it took. Well later plus. When Hinata finally began to wake up, the first thing she could feel was just how tired her body still felt. For a while she felt a bit better that before she still would have to rest for longer to get her chakra levels back to normal. Due to this she couldn't help but want to stay where she was, seeing as the warmth and comfort of her pillow was drawing her back to sleep. Sadly for the tired girl, her curiosity got the best of her and she opened her eyes to figure out what happened after she passed out. Though all thoughts were lost from the girl after she focused her vision again and was treated to seeing Naruto looking peacefully up at the clouds with the sun shining down on him. To her this was the perfect view that left her memorized as she simply stared at the blonde that had a small smile on his face. Though soon enough he turned and faced her. Oh good, you finally woke up. Naruto told her with a small smile at her before frowning. Sorry for pushing you too hard. He then mumbled out. Naruto-kun, don't be upset, I am the one that asked for your help. Hinata told her upset boyfriend. Yes. To help but not to push you past your limits. But that is how people can get better. After all, how will I get to know if I am doing better if I am not pushed to do my very best? Plus, pushing the limits is a good way for many things to get better. Hinata told Naruto, now blushing heavily due to trying to force herself and the conversation into what she wanted to happen in the first place. What do you mean? Naruto simply responded, looking down at Hinata confused. Okay Hinata, you can do this. You managed to salvage the conversation and get this far, now just do it. Hinata mentally ordered herself before using all the nerve she had in her to bring her head up and begin to kiss Naruto as passionately as she could, shocking the blonde. Though she pulled away before his brain could fully get past being surprised. Like how it is about time we push our relationship to the next level. Hinata quickly stuttered out while mentally praising herself for staying conscious. Of course by this point Naruto finally was able to catch up to what was going on and simply looked at the girl in front of him. She wants to push our relationship further, what does she mean by that? And that kiss, wow. Oh, I will try and figure out how to give my Haim the next level she wants, but for now I am just gonna enjoy this. Naruto thought, trying to figure out how to please Hinata. After all, even though his skills have changed greatly, the fact that the village kept him from experiencing many things and learning many things made it hard for him to fully figure out what to do. After all, these girls were the first ones to ever return his affections and become his girlfriends. Still, he pushed that all aside and simply went with his instincts and kissed Hinata again to feel the amazing sparks travel throughout his body. An action that made said girl completely shocked. Oh my god, he actually is kissing me again. Let's see where this goes, and hopefully it goes to what happened on page 65. Hinata began thinking, getting lost into her lustful thoughts while unconsciously doing what she was thinking about. For she soon surprised Naruto by sticking her tongue out into his mouth to lick his teeth, an action that startled him so much he opened his mouth to gasp in shock, but she quickly darted in and began to French kiss Naruto. The kiss that said blonde was slowly realizing he was enjoying and began trying to copy Hinata's actions. This led him to instinctively move Hinata so that she was now sitting in his lap while he held her close. Though he wasn't the only one to get into it, seeing as Hinata happily helped herself get into a better position as well, and then began to move her hands around Naruto's body, feeling all the muscles he has hidden underneath his clothes. Both of the two teens were now fully lost to their passionate moment that was quickly escalating into something more as they pretty much ignored the rest of the world around them. Though this all changed when they heard someone scream out "youth" extremely loudly, shocking them both out of their moment. Due to this, they quickly were able to realize the position they managed to get into and began to blush heavily. For at the current moment, Hinata was still in Naruto's lap with her hands currently under his shirt and firmly placed on his abs. Meanwhile, Naruto had his hands firmly placed around her lower back, pushing her close enough to him that he could feel her breasts against his chest. I am sorry, Haim, I don't know what came over me," Naruto mumbled out to her while beginning to let go of her. Though at this moment Hinata gathered her willpower and quickly grabbed onto his hands to keep them there. "And no, Naru-kun, I enjoyed it just as much as you. In fact, see, can we kiss out like that again?" Hinata asked, now with her blush completely covering her face. For while she felt embarrassed to ask, her desire gave her the strength to be much bolder than she would ever normally be able to be. Of course, when she finally looked back to Naruto, she was happy to see that he was pushing just as much as her. "SS sure, Haim-chan," he stumbled out, desiring the feeling of being loved so much, just as much or even more than she was. Of course, with this answer he slowly leaned in to kiss her again, only to see something that made him stop behind her. For coming closer to them was the cause of the yell, which was Lee from Team 9. "Why did you stop, Naru?" Hinata asked, slightly disappointed. "Haim, Team 9 is coming. We need to move before we have to answer a lot of awkward questions. Not to mention that your cousin, who is still probably mad at me for beating him, is coming and will more than likely stop us and tell your father," Naruto told him, now nervous. Though Hinata pouted at this. "Darn you for messing with my Naru time. I worked so hard to get through my nerves only to get stopped right when we were so close to the next big level. Why does this keep happening to me?" Hinata mentally complained. For after reading all about what couples do, she has wanted to try it for ages. Hinata, they are getting closer, can we please leave before they get here?" Naruto asked, watching as the group came closer to them. Though all he got was Hinata looking at him with her pout still on her face. "Fine, we can stop this for now, but we don't need to leave. After all, we were training and just are taking a break," Hinata told him, and then quickly moved, so she was now just leaning on him and quickly checked to see that she looked presentable before simply watching the other group coming closer. Meanwhile, Naruto just stayed where he was, shocked by how stubborn and clingy Hinata was being. Of course, he didn't think about it for too long, seeing as Lee finally spotted them and happily ran over to them. "Yosh, hello Naruto-kun and Hinata-chan. How are you two doing in this youthful day?" he asked them happily. "Hello, Lee-san. And today was good, seeing as we just finished training. Too bad we got to a point where we couldn't continue any farther today," she told him while glaring at the strange boy and his team that now was next to them as well. "Hey Lee, guys," was all Naruto told the green-clad ninja with a small smile. "Hey Naruto. You two getting in some hard training in?" Tenten asked, smirking while clearly implying something else. "We would be training if we didn't have a surprise interrupt us," Hinata responded for him while now glaring even more at Tenten, who looked shocked at her answer. "Oh, I'm sorry," Tenten told Hinata awkwardly while trying to look anywhere but at the glaring girl. "I was kidding about that, but wow, they work fast, and judging by this reaction, she is the one who wants it the most. I guess it really is the quiet ones that you need to worry about," Tenten thought as she tried to avoid looking at said girl's glare. A plan that ended up making her look at Neji instead. "I wonder." "Yosh, enough talking with Naruto-kun and Hinata-chan, it is time to train. Now come my team, we must train to keep our youthfulness flowing," Guy told his team while running to the center of the clearing with Lee chasing after him. Meanwhile, his teammates just sighed and followed them at a much slower pace. I think it is about time for us to leave," Naruto told Hinata, who was still glaring. His answer was a quick fine, while pouting about having to more from her comfortable position. Though this pout just made Naruto chuckle a bit and playfully rub her head, making her glare at him a bit. A random street of Konoha. So, what do you want to do now, Haim-chan? Naruto asked the girl while walking down the road. Well, I know I want to go get cleaned up a bit after that hard workout, so for now how about I show you around the clan compound for a bit. Besides, my sister has been wanting to meet you for a while anyways. Why would she want to see me? I don't know. All I know is that she has been trying to get some information on you for a bit. Hinata told him while shrugging her shoulders. Well, let's go see the little one, shall we? Naruto asked teasingly with a smile on his face. Sounds good. Just don't let her hear that, after all she is only a few years younger than me. And with that being said, they both walked leisurely to the Hyuga compound, where the guards quickly let them in after a few words from Hinata, where they then entered the building and simply stood in the main hallway, where Naruto was looking around at every little thing, curious about where his girlfriend lived. Well, what do you think of the Hyuga compound, Naru-kun? Hinata asked, seeing as for the past few minutes Naruto was wandering around looking at everything in the room with interest clear in his eyes. It is nice, but man, I don't even want to know how much you guys spent on some of this stuff. Naruto told her while looking at a painting that looked like it would cost much more than even what an S-rank mission would give you. Of course, this just made Hinata sigh. Yes, the elders do tend to splurge on knickknacks around the house. After all, according to them, the most prestigious clan needs the best things money can buy. Hinata told him, remembering the time she once looked around her father's desk when she was younger and found out just how much the elders spend on stuff to just sit around their compound. A show of power she never really understood to begin with, seeing as they rarely had anyone inside of their home that wasn't a Hyuga anyways. Anyways, feel free to take a seat for a bit. I am just going to take a quick shower, then I will show you around. Hinata told him, getting a nod in return from the blonde who was still looking around, and then left the room. Plus few minutes later. After finishing looking around at the stuff in the room, Naruto finally sat down on a nearby couch and simply began thinking about random things while waiting for Hinata to come back into the room. In fact, he got so focused on thinking about things that he completely didn't notice that someone walked up to him and was now standing close to him. Excuse me, what are you doing here? Naruto suddenly heard in a feminine tone that clearly was annoyed with something. This was enough to bring him out of his daydreams and notice things in the real world again, and what he noticed was a smaller girl that looked to be a few years younger than him. She had long black hair that looked to reach most of the way down her back, with a strand dangling in front of her face. She also had the classic Hyuga wide eyes, but they seemed to have a slight hint of lilac in them as well. This girl was also currently wearing an elegant light blue kimono that had several lilacs depicted randomly around the cloth. Overall, she looked to be rather cute, even though she seemed to be just beginning to mature. Oh hello, Naruto began, only to realize he had no clue who she was. Hyuga Hanabi told him, still clearly annoyed. For to her it looked like a random commoner somehow managed to enter their home and dare treat it like he lived there. Ah, hello Hanabi, I am just waiting for your sister to freshen up before we go do something else. Naruto told her with a big smile at the now shocked girl. So this is the boy that my sister is in love with. I have to say that he at least is decently pleasing to the eyes. Though why would simple words from this guy make her push herself so far? After all, besides slightly above average looks, there doesn't seem to be anything special about him. Well, I suppose he is a clan heir as well, but still there surely has to be people much better than him. Hanabi thought to herself, judging Naruto just off of his appearance alone. I see. Well, I am sure that she won't take long, though while you wait, I am sure you wouldn't mind answering a few questions I have. Hanabi told him, making it clear that she wanted the questions answered whether he wanted to or not. Sure Hanabi-chan, what do you want to know? Naruto told her with a smile, not noticing her narrow her eyes a bit at being called Chan when she just met him. Well, Naruto-san, to begin with, why exactly are you with my sister? Well, first just call me Naruto, and as for why I am with Hinata, well, I guess that would be because she really is one of the first people to show me what it is like to feel loved. Naruto answered with a shrug. Note, at this point when I say love, I mean the feeling of a strong friendship that bonds people together. Such as best friends becoming so close that they are siblings in everything but blood. First, to show you the feeling of love. What do you mean by that? Well, as you know, for years I was only an orphan that most of the village treated like crap until it became clear who my family is. Still, before that happened, most kids even wouldn't want to have anything to do with me. Though there was one cute little girl that always tried to be friendly with me and even help me out every now and then. I mean, we didn't see each other often due to her being often too shy come close to me, and also simply due to her being busy with clan things. Still, she was one of the few people that made my childhood worth going through. Naruto told her seriously, remembering how before he gave up on crying, he used to cry about how no one wanted to be around him until he saw shy Hinata come up to him. Those few moments they shared, although brief, meant the world to him. Now of course Hanabi was surprised by this answer, seeing as well she knew about how Naruto was originally treated. She didn't know her sister had that much of an effect on him. Oh really? Well then why did you wait so long before asking her out then? After all, I know for a fact that she loved you for years. Hanabi asked while mentally adding. For some reason. Well Hanabi, for starters I had no clue she liked me. Also, well I did end up liking her, I never even tried anything for two reasons. One, because she is higher class and us dating would have just led to her having conflicts in her family, which would cause unwanted stress there. Do I know you at least saw some of how I was treated as a child, I didn't want to have even a chance of dragging her into something like that. So, for a while I simply tried being the best friend I could. I am just happy that in the end we somehow managed to be together. Naruto told her with a small smile on his face. Oh, so you are happy to have added another member to your harem? Hanabi asked, disgusted with the cry, even though she understood why it was needed. Course what she didn't expect was for Naruto to glare at her and spike his kai at her enough to make her sweat a bit. Never say I would take advantage of any girl through this cra thing. Well I understand why you don't like it, I didn't ask for it either. Plus, any girl I date and marry because of this won't just be out of lust or duty to the village, it will be out of love. I don't care if everyone hates me for it, but I refuse to push someone into a loveless marriage. Naruto told her seriously, shocking Hanabi yet again. Though before they could talk anymore, they heard someone rushing towards them and soon saw Hinata back in the room. Though currently she was dripping wet, with a towel being the only thing covering her body, and even then, it was giving a tantalizing view to Naruto, who quickly had a nosebleed. What is going on here? She asked quickly, hoping there is no trouble with Naruto being in the clan compound. So nervous in fact that she didn't even take into consideration that the guards had to have already looked into it and deemed it fine. We are simply having a talk here, Ni-chan, though should you really be running around in your current state of dress? Hanabi told her sister, who at first was confused before looking down and noticing that she only had a towel on, causing her to let out a loud eep of embarrassment before rushing back to continue to get herself presentable. Though she was pretty happy to know that she could get a reaction out of Naruto, but in front of her sister was not the time to enjoy that fact. While she watched her sister run back to the bathroom, she couldn't help but let a small smile onto her face at her sister's antics before looking back to the blonde, who was still trying to clean up after his nosebleed. At first you don't look all that special, but you do have some surprising qualities that make you so much more interesting. I will have to keep my eye on you and maybe learn some more about what makes you such a strange guy. Hanabi thought, already even more interested in just how different Naruto is compared to everyone else she knew. A trait that made her want to figure out more about the blonde. After Hinata got over her embarrassment and came back to Naruto, they managed to enjoy the rest of the day, even with Naruto looking at her with a blush on his face every now and then, remembering the scene. Of course, much to the disappointment of Hinata, she couldn't try and build up the confidence to repeat what happened after their training, seeing as Hanabi for some reason decided to come with them and Naruto didn't see a problem with it. So, of course, while she still enjoyed her time with Naruto, she was still a bit annoyed with her sister, even as she watched him walk back home in the end. I know this is a bad transition from last chapter, but I am sure you all don't want me to ramble on with another chapter of just Naruhina. Plus next morning, Naruto plus. After enjoying yesterday as much as he could and spending a good bit of time with Hinata, Naruto was still in a real good mood. So, instead of forcing himself to eat a normal breakfast, he decided to treat himself with the food of the gods made by the best chef he knew, and with that in mind, he quickly got ready for the day and ran to his favorite ramen shop. Heyoji sent 6 miso ramens. Naruto called out happily to Tucci, who was just setting up his shop for the day. Oh Naruto, you are here early, aren't you? Tucci asked the blonde with a smile, while now beginning to prep his food. For seeing as he has known the blonde, Tucci pretty much knew a basic of his best customers' ramen schedule. Yay, but I just couldn't wait. After such a great day yesterday, today needs to start just as good. Naruto told him with a large smile on his face. A smile that only increased when he saw AM coming over to them. Good morning AM-chan. Naruto added, just as happy. Hello Naruto-kun, how is my favorite Chunin doing? AM asked with a small smile and a small giggle after seeing Naruto puff up his chest a bit, clearly proud to now be a Chunin. Very good, and how is my ramen angel doing? Naruto asked her, trying to make a loving nickname for each one of his girls, though failed to notice the sweat drop form on AM's head. I know that he loves giving people nicknames, but could he do better on mine? I mean, he calls Hinata Haim now, and all I get is to be named for his food. Though I suppose it just lets me know that even though my favorite blonde, while changed, is still very much his old self. AM thought, but still was a bit annoyed with him. Naruto-kun, how about calling me something else? She asked, hoping that he would listen. Why wouldn't you want to be known as one of the helpers of the godly food? Naruto asked, causing AM to just shake her head at how far his ramen addiction is ingrained into his head. Yes, Naruto, well, ramen is good, but I would rather be called something else. After all, I can give you a lot more than ramen. AM told the blonde suggestively while giving him a quick kiss over the counter. Course this managed to make Naruto blush, even though he didn't fully understand what she meant. For her words made him remember his make-out time with Hinata and how great it felt for him. Course due to this he now placed AM in the same place while sharing some ramen, making the boy drool a bit while keeping his blush. This made AM laugh a bit at how he looked but made Tucci glare a bit, seeing as well he knew about their relationship, he still wanted to protect his daughter from men. Now Naruto, you wouldn't be dating my daughter only for her services now, would you? He asked, glaring at the blonde, thinking the drool was for something much more perverted than what it actually was, which also was making him push out some kai subconsciously as well. And no, Oji-san, I wouldn't ever think of treating my Tenchi-chan like that. Naruto told him, now terrified of the large amount of kai in the air coming from the old man holding his ladle like some sort of weapon. Who knew Oji-san could be so terrifying? Naruto couldn't help but think, even though in reality he could easily beat the chef in an actual fight. In fact, he was so focused on this that he didn't even notice the blush on AM's face. Now that is a nickname I can get used to being called. AM thinks happily while pretty much ignoring the fact that her father looked about ready to kill her boyfriend thanks to her perverse comment. Thankfully though, Naruto's words calmed the cook down, seeing as Tucci knew that Naruto would never lie about something relate to those close to him. Still, the stand was a strange sight to anyone who would come in, seeing as they would see a blushing girl, a terrified boy sitting down looking carefully at an older man that was now happily cooking the order. Thankfully for Naruto though, he was broke from his fear after his first bowl of godly breakfast was placed in front of him. Itadakimasu, Naruto quickly mumbled out before grabbing a pair of chopsticks to break apart and start eating. He then went through several bowls while simply chatting with AM. A peaceful time that was possible thanks to Naruto being the only person who they knew to ever eat ramen so early in the day. And that is why I need to keep training. I need to get a better control of my chakra and get stronger. Naruto finished telling AM. Wow, Naruto-kun, I never knew that you ninja train so much. I only do a bit of martial arts for exercise. AM told the now surprised blonde. What? You actually know how to fight? Naruto asked, shocked. Hey. Just because I am not a ninja doesn't mean I don't want to protect myself. AM told him, offended. No. I mean, wow, I never would have expected the kind and pretty girl that helped me through my childhood actually knew how to kick some ass. You have to show me what you got. Naruto told her, happily making said girl blush before hearing the last part. What? You gotta show me how much you know. Now come on, let's head to a training ground. Naruto told her. But I don't think I would stand any chance against a ninja and I have to war. Go with Naruto and have some fun. Tucci told his daughter, interrupting her. See, Oji-san is letting you take a break, so let's go. Naruto told her. Oh, fine if you both insist. Just give me a few minutes to change and we will go. She told him with a sigh, hoping that Naruto didn't expect her to be able to fight like other ninjas. After all, when she saw them fighting in the arena, she knew that even against Genin she wouldn't stand a chance. Still, she left to get changed from her work clothes into something more proper for exercising. Oh, and Naruto, make sure you take proper care of my girl and no funny business. Tucci told Naruto after she left, scaring Naruto again as he went into what Naruto would later call his angry dad mode. Of course, Oji-san, I promised to take care of AM-chan and protect her from harm. Naruto told him, now able to ignore a bit of his fear through determination. Thankfully though, AM came back rather fast, now wearing a red t-shirt and black pants that hugged her curves quite well. Okay Naruto, let's go get this over with. AM told her boyfriend, still nervous about actually fighting with Naruto. Sure Tenchi-chan, let's head out, though I do have to say you look nice in your workout clothes. Naruto told the girl as she walked out from the back of the stand, causing her to blush. Thanks Naruto-kun, but this is just something simple I wear when dad gives me a break or a day off. She tells him, not thinking she was wearing anything special. Well, it still looks good on you. Plus, it is the first time I have seen you in something that isn't your work clothes. Naruto told her honestly, causing her to smile at the blonde. Thanks Naruto-kun, she told him and gave him a quick kiss on the cheek. This is one of the reasons I love my childish blonde. He clearly doesn't even mean to be flirting, but still manages to make a girl feel happy and special. AM thought to herself happily as she followed Naruto to a training ground. Though her mind wasn't just on this one time but all the times throughout the years she knew him that he would make her smile through his compliments. Well, she got them from a lot of other people most of the time. When she heard it from guys, it was just them trying to flirt with her. A problem that made her go through several failed dates with other men who she thought wanted something special, but really just wanted her body. A problem that eventually led her to getting a crush on Naruto, seeing as he would compliment her just like the rest of the boys, but never once tried to push for anything but a friendship with her. Well, what do you think? Naruto asked her, bringing her out of her thoughts and making her realize they were at a forest clearing. A clearing that had a small stream going through the middle of the clearing. This is nice. Are all of Konoha's training grounds this nice? She asked, enjoying the gentle wind that gave some coolness to offset the warm day. Well, no, a lot of the training grounds are a lot more basic and some are pretty destroyed. Though this is one of the few that are designated for light training only. After all, it is so close to the village that it needs to be kept nice so that people can't see the beauty that is the village. Naruto told her honestly, remembering the times he practiced a few of his more destructive moves in stone-filled area that already had clear burns and damage to the stones around him. Anyways, let's see what you got. Naruto told her before getting into a light fighting stance out in the clearing. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Am mumbled out, still nervous about fighting an actual ninja, seeing as she knew that she could easily get hurt. Though much to her surprise, when she was ready, Naruto ran at her at a speed that she knew was nowhere near his best. Of course, this surprised her enough that she forgot to try and block his punch and ended up getting hit in the stomach, which much to her surprise, only stung a little bit. What is going on? I figured Naruto would be a lot stronger than this. Wait, he actually knows how to control himself this much. Wow, I actually feel bad, seeing as I always thought he didn't know how to control himself, seeing as all the ninja who ate at the store said he was a loose cannon and other things. Now I feel bad for assuming stuff. Am thought with a frown, realizing that she thought so little about her boyfriend but promised herself to never do it again. Sadly, this lapse of focus ending up making her receive a kick to the chest that actually knocked her off her feet and onto the ground. Are you okay, Am-chan? I promise I didn't mean to hit you that hard. Naruto told her, now worried about her health, until she shook her head and got up. No, Naruto-kun, I just got too lost in thought and didn't pay attention. You actually are doing good, still thanks for worrying about me. She told him with a small smile before getting back in her stance. Now let's continue so I can show you what I really got. She added, now determined to show she actually was decent at martial arts. Hour later. Am was now panting due to fighting for the better part of an hour, while Naruto barely looked to have broken a sweat. She was right now a bit sore, seeing as while Naruto wasn't actually trying to hurt her, he still managed to leave a few bruises on her. Still, she felt pretty good, seeing as while fighting Naruto, she actually was able to block some of his attacks and even get a few hits on him as well. Of course, she couldn't help but realize just how much stronger a ninja was compared to the average civilian. This didn't stop her from prepping her defense for another attack that to her surprise never came. Okay, Tenshi-chan, how about we call it here? After all, I don't want you to get too tired this early in the day. He told her with a smile. Besides, just from this I can tell that you really are a great fighter. You must have put a lot of effort into learning, seeing as I bet you could easily beat a few thugs if you ever needed to. Naruto told her honestly. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but thanks for the compliment, Naruto-kun. Am told him with a smile and sat down, trying to catch her breath now that she knew that they were done fighting. Naruto then took out a towel from a seal to hand to Am, who thanked him and wiped the sweat off of herself, while they both simply enjoyed the nice day for a few minutes. So, how about we go get some drinks? Naruto asked after Am stopped panting. Sure, anywhere in particular? Nope, I just figure you probably want something to drink after working so hard. Oh, thanks for looking out for me, Naru-chan. Am told him and gave him a quick kiss on the lips, then smiled. And I think I know the perfect spot. She added, now dragging him back to the village with a smile, never leaving her face, seeing as she now knew that Naruto truly cared for her, unlike the other people she dated. Cafe cute. Note random name due to not wanting to say a random restaurant. Am eventually led Naruto to a small restaurant about a block away from the Ichiraku stand. It was a plain looking building, but it had large windows that let in a lot of natural light and had several tables spread apart enough to give people plenty of space for private conversations. The place itself had light green walls and, surprisingly enough, even a few small waterfall decorations placed into each corner of the building to give the peaceful sound of running water. Finally, to add to the peaceful natural feel of the restaurant, there were plants ranging from flowers in pots to bonsai trees on each table. Wow, this place is nice, Naruto told her, shocked that he never knew such a place as in Konoha. Yeah, one of my friend's family set this up about 2 years ago to give both ninja and civilians a place to truly relax. An idea that has made them quite successful, in fact. Am told him happily, seeing as this was also one of her favorite spots to go, seeing as her friends would regularly gather here and simply chat. Am-chan. They suddenly heard someone call out from across the relatively busy restaurant and then saw a girl run up to them and eventually give AM a hug. Oh, what a surprise, I mean we haven't seen each other in weeks. The girl told AM, seeing as her and her friends were all super busy dealing with things after the attack on the village. For they, like many civilians, had to work on fixing problems the battles caused, such as crushed stones, slash marks, and in some cases even complete destruction. Though luckily for all of them they managed to not get too much damage, but still had to work through paperwork and many other things. Which made it so that they really couldn't take too much time off from their family's businesses. Of course Naruto didn't know this and simply was surprised by the sudden reaction of the girl that he now could take a look at. She was about 5'3" with a lean figure that was covered in a simple light purple kimono that seemed to be a uniform, seeing as the other workers had simple kimonos on as well. She also had what looked to be B-size breast and a decent hourglass figure that made her look to be around 16 or 17. Also, she had a cute face with warm brown eyes and light makeup on that accented her facial structure nicely. Her hair was pitch black and went halfway down her back, tied into a simple ponytail that held back her hair from falling into her face. Overall, she looked rather pretty and seemed to be quite friendly if her reaction to seeing AM was her normal personality. Yes, it is good to see you, Satomi-chan. How are you doing? AM asked her friend happily after the hug ended. Pretty good, I mean really all we had to deal with was our windows breaking, but sadly we had several bodies in here as well. It was so disgusting and it gave me nightmares remembering them for weeks. Luckily though, a few of the ninja took them away rather quickly after we were given the all clear, but still I can't believe there was fighting going on in our restaurant. Which reminds me that I still need to try and push Ma to go for some new flooring. Satomi told her friend before noticing Naruto was standing there as well. Oh, and who is this blondie? She asked, now looking over Naruto. This is Naruto. AM told her friend, which caused the girl's eyes to widen. Oh, this is that Naruto. Well, I do have to say, even though he is a pervert for having a harem, I can see why you fell for those looks. She said with a small shrug. Hey, I am not a pervert. Naruto told her angrily, seeing as that was one of the things he was proud of seeing, as he managed to keep his innocence, even while having two, technically three perverted teachers. Basically making him think the fact that he isn't a creepy pervert himself to be a good accomplishment in itself. And how are you not a pervert, Mr. Harem? Satomi asked him. I didn't ask for the harem, it was the council, and they all agreed to be with me even with it. I would never force a girl to be in it if she didn't want to be. Naruto told her firmly. I take it back, he really is a great catch if he is being honest, though I still think you are a bit crazy for accepting to be in a harem. She told her friend simply. Anyways, can we get a seat please, Satomi? AM asked, forcing the conversation away from her relationship. Oh, sure, right away. Satomi quickly told her friend before taking them to a table by the window and quickly taking their orders for some green tea and some simple snacks for a light lunch. This led them to having a nice lunch date with them talking about random things and even having some interesting conversations with Satomi when she came over to them every now and then. Overall making their whole unofficial date quite pleasant, with Naruto learning quite a bit about his one older girlfriend. They then paid for their meal and Naruto brought AM back to Ichiraku holding hands the whole way. Thanks for the date, Naruto-kun. Even though I never would have thought I would have such a strange date, it was still surprisingly enjoyable. AM told him honestly. Thanks for making today start off amazingly. Also, it is good to know that you can really kick some ass. Naruto told her, unintentionally ruining the romantic moment they were having. Well, Naruto-kun, you definitely have quite a few rough edges that need to be worked on, but somehow you still make me feel so loved and special. AM thought with a smile, surprisingly not annoyed with him still not fully understanding how to be romantic. She then gave him a loving kiss on the lips that he quickly returned. Thanks, Naruto-kun. Now I need to get back to work, so see you later. She told him happily and began to walk into the restaurant, but suddenly turned her head back up to him. Oh, and keep up this loving treatment and I will be sure to give you your reward before you know it. She told him, then winked at the now confused blonde before fully entering Ichiraku. Man, I really need to figure out how to understand girls. Naruto thought after giving up on trying to decipher what to him was a confusing message. Course he didn't get much time to try and figure it out, for soon after Jiraiya found him. Hey Gaki, I need to talk to you. How about I treat you to some ramen? Jiraiya asks, knowing that ramen would be the best way to keep Naruto listening to him. Okay. Naruto told him happily, for while he already ate a light lunch, he would always have room for ramen. So, they both entered the restaurant much to the surprise of AM. Hey lovely, how about 2 beef ramens? Jiraiya ordered while trying to flirt, only to see AM give him a disgusted look while a large amount of kai filled the room. Boy, Iro-san, and leave my girlfriend alone. She wants nothing to do with a pervert like you. Naruto ordered the old man, trying to focus his kai onto him as much as possible. Okay kid, calm down, I was only joking, just get used to beef ramen please. Jiraiya tells AM, who quickly walks away from them while Naruto stops leaking out his kai. So, I was right, the Gaki really does care a lot for these girls. I mean, he treats me as a close friend and he immediately was ready to attack me for messing with one of them. I really would hate to see what he does if someone actually tries to do something to them, especially after I am done training him. Jiraiya thinks mentally, noting that he needs to work on Naruto's emotional control some more so he doesn't kill someone affiliated with Konoha just because they tried to flirt with one of his girls in front of him. Well, he already did, but that was a drunk fool that didn't know when to stop. Dumbasses like that don't count. So, what did you want to talk about? Naruto asked, now calmer. Well Gaki, I was talking to Tsunade about something and she agreed with my decision. So tell me, what do you remember about how strong Orochimaru is? Jiraiya asks, deciding to give his explanation before he gave Naruto the information that would make him annoyed. He is way too strong. Right now if I fought him, I would probably lose even with my new skills and special problem. Naruto admitted, slightly depressed by this fact while slowly eating the ramen that AM placed in front of him. Yes, right now you don't have a chance against S-rank threats, but I could help you get to a point where you could win against them. Jiraiya tells him seriously and watches as Naruto looks at him with his eyes wide. Really, you would help me get to be stronger than that? Naruto asks, surprised. Yes, in fact Tsunade and me agree to have you trained to be at least low S rank due to the Akatsuki hunting you down. Jiraiya told Naruto, making him clearly more confused. Who are they and why would they be hunting me down? Naruto asked, now so surprised that he even manages to ignore the ramen in front of him. Well, the Akatsuki is a group of several S-rank missing ninja from various villages that have grouped together to go after people like you. Jiraiya told him sadly after making sure no one was in hearing range of them. What they are after the Kyuubi? Naruto asked, only to get a nod in return. What can I do? I mean, while I am strong, even I am not dumb enough to think I am good enough to take out a S-rank ninja group. Naruto asked, feeling a bit afraid. Well Gaki, you are going to come train with me for 3 years so that we can get you strong enough to have a chance against them. For while you are with me they will be less likely to attack due to my reputation, but me or Tsunade can't keep you by us for the rest of your life. Jiraiya explained. Okay then, I will train and make sure I can beat them down. Naruto told him with determination in his eyes. For he now had precious people to live for and would not let them down. The only thing is I have to also keep my spy network working Gaki, so for all 3 of these years, we will be out of the village. Jiraiya finally told the blonde sadly. So I wouldn't be able to see Hinata, Haku, Ino, AM, or any of my other friends for years. Naruto asks, realizing what Jiraiya meant. Okay, let's do it, Naruto eventually told Jiraiya after seemingly looking down at nothing for a minute. What? Jiraiya stumbles out, surprised Naruto agreed to this part so easily. I am not stupid Jiraiya, we are ninja and fight dirty. If I stayed here and didn't take care of this, they would probably hurt my precious people to get me. I need to make sure I am strong enough to protect them as well from these bastards. But I have one condition. Naruto told Jiraiya seriously. The girls don't learn about my trouble. I don't want them to worry about me. He added to a surprised Jiraiya. Okay Gaki, I will make sure they don't, and we leave the day after tomorrow. Jiraiya tells him, then quickly finishes his ramen and leaves after handing Naruto some money. Man, this Gaki really is more like Minato than I thought. After all, while he acts as childish as Kushina, he really does have his father's way of thinking as well. Just now when he acted like a spitting image of Minato being serious, if his skill is just as close to those two as well, he really will become a real powerhouse eventually. Jiraiya thought, now determined to make sure his student son was given every opportunity to reach his true potential. Naruto. Though Jiraiya-sama left already. Well, what did he want? AM asked, curious. He offered to train me, but I will have to leave the village for 3 years. Naruto told her, now thankful Jiraiya made sure she couldn't hear them before dropping his bombshell of news. Oh, well that is a wonderful opportunity, but 3 years without you? AM mumbled out with a frown, clearly unhappy. Though Naruto quickly grabbed her hand and gently rubbed the top of it, making her look back to him. I know, but I promise that I will make it up to you and the others as soon as I come back. I just need to do this, to make sure I can protect you from everything and anything. Naruto told her seriously. Okay, but Naruto, please don't forget about us. AM told him after noticing how serious he is. He is hiding something, I know it, but if he is this serious, I won't torture him any more than he already must be feeling. Though. I would never forget you. Naruto told her firmly while gently squeezing her hand and then gave her a loving kiss. Now I need to get ready, I leave in 2 days, I will make sure we all make them count. He told her with a smile, though she could see the sadness in his eyes. Still she accepted the money for the bowls of ramen and watched as he left. Naruto-kun. Morning, Naruto Haku's apartment plus. Naruto was now up, but now simply looking up to his roof lost in thought. So, I really leave tomorrow. What am I going to do? I mean, in less than a day now I have to go with a pervert on a training trip, which will make me leave all the girls alone for years. I feel terrible for that, but it has to be done. I mean, I can't let myself be around them when I won't be able to protect them from these ninja that are hunting people like me down. But how am I going to let them know? Man, I hope they don't hate me too much for this. Naruto thought before hearing a knock on the door. Naruto-sama, are you awake yet? Breakfast is ready. Haku told him simply before assumingly walking back towards the kitchen. Well, I guess I will just have to figure it out as I go. Naruto mumbled to himself before finally getting out of bed to go eat with Haku. So, he followed the smell and quickly filled his plate with the breakfast she made before sitting down across from her and began to eat in silence after a quick thank you to Haku. They then ate their meal in silence, much to the concern of Haku. What is going on with Naruto-sama today? Usually he would want to talk about something, but today he is just looking down at his food looking lost. Maybe I can help him with something. Haku thought before finally putting down her chopsticks. Naruto-sama, are you feeling okay today? Huh? Oh yay, I feel fine, Haku-chan. Naruto told her, simply still barely making eye contact with her. You sure? You still seem off today. Is there something wrong? Haku asked, still clearly concerned. No, nothing is wrong, Naruto told her while trying to give her a smile, but simply couldn't bring himself to look at her. Naru-kun, look at me. She told him in a firm tone that left no room for disobeying. So, Naruto did look up to her, though more out of shock about hearing her saying his name without Sama with it. Look, Naruto, I asked around the village a bit and got to know a bit about how you were treated before. I know that treatment makes you think you have no one to go to and have to deal with everything on your own, but you don't anymore. You have Hinata, Ino, AM, all your friends, and me to rely on now. So, if something is troubling you, please tell me, maybe I will be able to help you. Please, Naruto, just let me try. You aren't alone anymore. Haku told him, staring directly into Naruto's eyes, giving him a caring look that surprised Naruto. These girls, every time I begin to think I have finally figured out what being in a relationship means, they always manage to shock me. Maybe she is right. I guess I will take a chance and trust someone again. Naruto decides quickly before letting out a sigh. You caught me, Yukihime-chan. My problem is that Iro-san didn't want me to go on a training trip. The problem is that he wants me to go with him out of the village for 3 years. He told her, then braced himself for whatever reaction she may have to the news. Okay, so when do you have to leave? She asked him, simply shocking him. What? Naruto-kun, we are ninjas, so well, I do want to spend my time with you and not have you go anywhere. We all know it has to happen sometimes. After all, some missions can take a year or more, so we are going to experience stuff like this eventually anyways. Haku told him simply. Of course, her explanation just shocked Naruto even more, seeing as well he was trying to figure out what a relationship would be like. He never thought about how their missions would affect them as well. Wow, Yukihime, I never thought about it that way. What would I ever do without you? Naruto asked her, now happy that he knows that the other girls would hopefully be able to understand him easier after using Haku's explanation. Hopefully you never will have to find out, Naruto-sama. She told him, simply making him look at her, now a bit annoyed. Back to that now? He asked, seeing as he was hoping that she was finally done calling him Sama. What do you mean, Naruto-sama? You just called Kun instead of Sama. Can't you just keep using Kun? Naruto asked, hopping for her to finally stop calling him master. I have no clue what you mean, Naruto-sama, I would never call you something so familiar. After all, I am only your servant. She told him, completely pretending to forget calling him Kun, which made Naruto slam his head down onto the table, clearly frustrated. Of course, this reaction simply made Haku giggle a bit as she failed to hold back her laughter. Anyways, I am going to go tell the others now. But don't worry, I will make sure to make this last day as special as possible. Naruto told her before placing his now empty plate into the sink and then went out the door. Well, I suppose I might as well start with telling Hinata. Naruto mumbled to himself with a small shrug after walking a bit away from his apartment and then quickly jumped up to the roof of the closest building and speed off towards her. The Hyuga clan compound. When Naruto finally made it to the compound, he quickly jumped down in front of the gate guards to let them know he was there. I am here to see Hinata, Naruto simply told them, only to have the two guards look at each other before one of them disappeared using a leaf shunshin. He then reappeared after a while and finally let Naruto walk into the compound, where he then followed Hinata's chakra signature till he finally was right next to her. Hey Naru-kun, why are you here? Hinata asked her boyfriend, curious. It is strange, normally Naruto doesn't do too much at this time of day during the time I gathered information about him. Could it be that he is ready to continue what we had at the training field? I hope so. I want my Naru time, and maybe we can take it further like an Ichia's secret, where? Hinata began to think happily with a blush slowly growing on her face. Hey Haim-chan. I just needed to tell you something. Naruto told her simply. Oh, Hinata mumbled out. Darn. For those people that haven't realized, I am using her for a bit of comedic relief by relying on it's always the quiet ones. So, Haim, I need to tell you that, for 3 years. Naruto told her as quickly as he could, only to have her look at him in confusion. Sigh. Hinata-chan, Iro-san is taking me on a training trip for 3 years. Naruto told her and prepared for any possible reaction. So you have to go? Hinata asked with a pout. Yay, sadly, but I have to do it. I want to get strong enough to be able to protect you. Besides, to get to be Hokage, I am going to have to be stronger anyways. Naruto told her while gently grabbing her hand. I guess, but it is just so long. Hinata muttered out. But I guess if you have to go, then I won't stop you. After all, what kind of girlfriend would I be to not let you follow your dream? Hinata told him with a small sad smile. Thank you Haim-chan, and I promise I will make it up to you when I get back. Naruto told her, now holding her hand with both of his and looking directly into her eyes. Course he still didn't manage to notice the blush that formed on her cheeks when he said that. Okay was all she could stutter out, still focused on her new daydream. Thank you Haim, and I can't wait till I get to see how much stronger you girls get as well. Naruto told her, then kissed her gently before beginning to walk away. Wait, when are you leaving? Hinata asked him, causing him to turn around while rubbing the back of his head, clearly embarrassed. Oh, yeah, sorry, I almost forgot, I have to leave tomorrow morning. Naruto told her, embarrassed by the fact that he nearly forgot to tell her important information. Oh, well then we will have to make sure that we do something special today then. She told him, completely serious. Yeah, I plan on doing something special with you girls. I just need to tell all of you first, and then I will get all of you for something special that I have planned that I am hoping that you all will enjoy. Naruto told her, staying vague, seeing as he still hasn't figured out his plan completely. Okay Naruto, just hurry up please. If this is the last time I see you or a while, then I want to spend as much time with you as I can. She told him before giving him a loving kiss, which surprised him, seeing as she usually is too embarrassed. Now hurry up and go tell the others so I can get my Naru time. She told him, now pushing him towards the door, much to the amusement of Naruto. Still he went with it and allowed himself to be pushed out of the home and began walking through the busy village streets. Okay, so that is 2 down. Now for Am-chan and Ino-chan. Naruto mumbles to himself while following the flow of the crowd till he eventually reached the street he needed to be on. Imanka Flower SHOP. When Naruto finally reached Ino's family shop, he quickly walked up to the building with a small smile on his face. For unlike what he thought would happen so far, telling the girls that he had to leave them alone for a while is going much better. In fact, he thought that by now he would have to deal with at least one of the girls screaming at him. Still he wasn't complaining about it not happening and instead just got himself focused again and opened the door to enter, only to be ran into by someone. Ugh, Naruto groaned out from his new spot on the floor but still looked over to see that the person that ran into him was the very girl he needed to talk to. Ow, oh sorry Naruto-kun. Ino apologized after picking herself off the floor and watching the blonde pick himself up as well. No problem Ino-chan, though why were you in such a rush? Well, Dad just remembered to tell me that we have a big shipment of new supplies that just came in. So, of course he sent me out just before my break, and I really want to simply enjoy a few moments of peace with a mint tea after this crazy morning, though thanks to this I guess that won't happen, seeing as bringing all this stuff back here will take me way too long. She told him with a pout, only to glare at him when he started laughing. And what do you think you are laughing at? She asked him, clearly ready to go off on Naruto. Hold on Ino-chan. I was just laughing at the fact that our timing couldn't be more perfect. Naruto told her while holding his hands out defensively, trying to calm down the mad girl in front of him. Course this just made Ino become more confused than mad until he summoned a clone. She then looked from him to the clones a few times before a large smile grew on her face and she brought Naruto in for a tight hug in which she seemed to try and put all of her strength into choking the life out of him. Oh, that is perfect. Thank you for saving my relaxation time. I can't tell you how much I need it today. She told him before dragging Naruto with her to pick up the packages, leaving the clone where they were. And they are gone, the lone clone mumbled out with a sweat drop as it watched Naruto be dragged through the market's busy streets until it finally decided to dispel. Post office. After being dragged all the way to the post office, Ino finally stopped to find someone to give her the packages. They were then brought to see 4 large packages, so he quickly created 8 clones to carry the packages while making sure that they were kept safe just in case there were pots or something in them. He then happily walked out of the post office following an equally as happy Ino, while the clones grumbled curses at him as they carried the packages behind the 2. So, Naruto-kun, why did you come to the flower shop seeing as I doubt you came just to unknowingly help me? Ino asked, now curious but still ignoring the grumbling clones. He's not even the one doing the work here. One of the clones grumbled out soon after she said this though, and they couldn't help but hear it, seeing as he was a bit louder than the rest of the grumbling. Course the only reaction it got was for the real Naruto to grumble out, stupid clones, you or me anyways. Yeah, I sort of have to tell you something, Ino, Naruto told her and then looked over to her, seeing that he now had her full attention. Well, Iro-san talked to me the other day and wants me to go on a training trip with him. Naruto began only to be interrupted by Ino. Well, you better take it then. Not just everyone gets the offer to be trained by a Sanin. Ino ordered him, thinking that he would be an idiot not to. Well, the thing is that I would have to be gone for 3 years and have to leave tomorrow. Naruto told her with a frown that was soon copied by his blonde partner. Oh, well that sucks, but you still are an idiot for thinking about missing the opportunity. Ino told him, surprising him for what seemed to be the 1000th time this day. Course this reaction just made Ino smile a bit. Come on Naruto, I am not sure if you realize, but we are ninja. Eventually we are going to have to go on long missions. So, we might as well get used to it now. She told him, making him feel stupid yet again for worrying so much. I really am an idiot, aren't I? Naruto mumbled out, shaking his head, but was soon given a quick kiss by Ino, who was giggling at his reaction. Yes, at times, but you are my idiot, she told him. They then walked calmly back to the flower shop where Naruto had his clones place the boxes in a storage room before dispelling them. They then went together to go enjoy a good calming tea with each other at a nearby cafe. Though eventually he had to leave Ino to let her get back to working for another few hours. Okay, next I have to get my plan ready. Naruto mumbled out, now walking through the market yet again by himself. Course this time he was a lot less stressed and was instead just getting some shopping done to prepare what he hoped would be a good time for his girls. So, he quickly bought his supplies and ran home as fast as he could, seeing as the perfect time was quickly approaching. When he finally made it home, he was pleasantly surprised to see that Haku apparently had something that she needed to do in the hospital or something, seeing as she was currently nowhere around the apartment. Still, he wasn't able to appreciate his luck for too long, seeing as he soon had a lot of cooking and prepping to do. Plus evening plus. Ugh, finally done. Naruto sighed out happily as he sat down on a chair. He looked over on the table and was happy to see that all of his work neatly packed up and sitting on the table, all sealed into the scroll. Well, for someone that no one expects to have any romantic ideas or even cooking skills, this will surely be surprising. He thought with a smile as he closed his eyes to relax for a moment, only to quickly open them again after realizing something he nearly forgot to do. Holy shit, I need to get ready. He yelled out in his head and quickly ran into the shower, completely missing the fact that Haku was now standing near the front door, simply watching as a blur sped past her. Naruto-sama. She mumbled out in confusion, still simply standing in the door frame out of shock. Still, she eventually shook herself out of it and walked to the bathroom door and gently knocked on the door. Naruto-sama, are you okay? She called out, still confused. Hey Haku-chan, yay, I am fine, just getting ready for the surprise I have for you girls. So, put on something comfortable and I will be out in a few minutes. Oh, and don't look inside of that scroll. I want it to be a surprise. Naruto told her through the door. Okay, Naruto-sama. She told him, simply, still super confused but still did as he wanted. Plus several minutes later plus. Naruto finally finished his shower and changed into a new outfit and was simply waiting for Haku to finish getting herself ready while holding his scroll firmly in his hands. Then as soon as she was ready, he rushed them out of the door to go collect the other girls. Plus some time later, Naruto and all girls plus. Okay Naruto, we are all here, what is this surprise you have for us? Ino asked, now curious, seeing as he was talking about it for the whole time he was getting them all together. You will find out. Now follow me. Naruto told them with a smile, then quickly began jumping on the rooftops to get to his surprise location as fast as he could, seeing as time was ticking. Course he made sure to carry Am with him, seeing as she was unable to truly follow them, much to her enjoyment and her company's annoyance. He then finally jumped onto the Hokage Monument Mountain and waited for the girls to catch up. Now we are here, and as for the surprise. Naruto told the while finally opening his scroll and unsealing the project he was working so hard on. When it opened, the girls saw a rather large picnic basket on a blanket. Well, it was a nice thought, it still looked like just an average date idea. Which confused the girls, seeing as he seemed so proud of his idea. It looks real good, Naruto-kun. Hinata told him, being nice. Oh, just wait, all of you. Well, even I know that this is the go-to date idea for guys. I think my part is a bit better, you just have to wait a few minutes. Naruto told them, then dragged the blanket closer to the edge of the mountain. He then began unpacking all the food, much to the delight of the girls. But Naruto somehow managed to get a lot of their favorite foods and even a thermos filled with tea that smelled perfect to them. "Now let's just enjoy ourselves until it is time for my surprise," Naruto told them happily. Of course all of the girls were still confused but still sat down and enjoyed the meal he made. Of course they were pleasantly surprised by how good it tasted and actually enjoyed the date where they all just enjoyed the date. Finally it is time for your real surprise, girls," Naruto finally told them after a while and made them look over the edge of the mountain. What the girls saw truly was breathtaking for them. For the sun was setting and all of the rays were lighting up the village to make an amazing view. "Wow, Naruto-kun, how did you ever find this view?" Am asked, memorized by the wondrous view in front of her. Well, I was young, I used this as my getaway spot, needless to say I always loved to see this," Naruto told them. "Now how about we enjoy this last day before I leave, shall we?" Naruto asked the girls, and needless to say they truly did enjoy this date now that they knew this truly was something special that Naruto made just for them. Plus a while later plus. After a long night of fun, Naruto finally had to call it a night and brought each girl back to their own homes and made sure to give them each a loving kiss, seeing as they wouldn't be seeing each other for a while. He then quickly made it back to his own room and finished packing up his stuff for his training trip. He then tried to fall asleep only for Haku to walk in and snuggle up close to him, wanting to spend one last night together. So, he allowed it and wrapped his arms around her waist. "I don't know what this training will involve, but I will make sure to get strong enough to protect all of you. For now that I have you in my life, I don't think I will get used to being alone if you ever have to leave me," Naruto thought, sadly thinking about each one of the girls who were unknowingly now one of his most precious treasures that he would protect as much as he could. Even if to get to be able to he would have to leave them alone for a few years. Still he decided to stop thinking about such depressing things and forced himself to sleep. Plus next day plus. Early in the morning Naruto woke up thanks to the sun coming through his window. Still he didn't let this bother him and quietly got out of bed, being extra careful to not wake Haku. He then got ready for the day and strapped on his backpack and weapons pack. He then leaned down and gave Haku a gentle kiss on the forehead before quietly leaving the room and going to the gate he needed to meet Jiraiya at. Plus village gate plus. "Hey Gaki, ready to go?" Jiraiya asks Naruto with a large smile as soon as he saw Naruto appear in front of him. "Yeah, let's get started," Naruto told him after taking one last look at the village before walking out of the village with Jiraiya. "It will only be a few years, girls. Then I promise to make it up to you, just wait for me to be able to protect you," Naruto thought as he walked away, determined to get as strong as possible to protect his girls. After leaving the village, both Jiraiya and Naruto walked towards what to Naruto was an unknown destination. Though while he tried to figure out where they were going, Jiraiya made sure to get a good look at each of the women that they walked by with a smile on his face. There always is beauties to see even on the open road. It is just a shame that I don't have Naruto willing to take on the life of a pervert. I mean, right now if I tried to make any moves on these girls, he surely would stop me. Damn brat. Still, I suppose it is a good thing as well, seeing as I do need to finally make good on my promise to take care of him. But the amount of time this is going to take from my research is inhumane to a master pervert like me, Jiraiya thought sadly after glancing at what looked to be a family with several older daughters around the father. "So, Hiro-san, and where are we heading?" Naruto finally asked now that his patience for waiting to be told has worn thin. "Well, that is a surprise for you, Gaki," Jiraiya told him with a wide smile now on his face as he happily watched Naruto get more annoyed with him not explaining. "Ugh, just tell me already," Naruto complained. "Well, maybe if you showed me a certain jutsu of yours I would, but then you would have to travel like that for the rest of the trip," Jiraiya offered while rubbing his chin and blushing heavily, remembering his new student's supposed pervert killing attack. "What? No. I am not going to use the jutsu, especially just for you to ogle at my transformation the whole time," Naruto yelled at him while shivering in fear at the thought of being stuck with Jiraiya's eyes on his body for any length of time. This answer, while partially disappointing Jiraiya, also made him smirk a bit after a few moments. Naruto, you have a lot to learn if you give up on information so early," Jiraiya thought as he then watched a fear run through Naruto. But soon enough the blonde went right back to fidgeting around the path, clearly bored yet again. He then shook his head at the teenager's antics but still continued waking towards the village he needed to get to. Village. Jiraiya and Naruto finally made it to a pretty small town near the edge of the Fire Country territory that seemed to really have nothing too special about it. This led to Naruto lazily looking around the village houses as they walked by them. "Hey, so now that we are finally here, will you tell me why we had to travel all the way to this village?" Naruto asked Jiraiya, now more confused than anything else. This question that made Jiraiya pause for a moment before he began to chuckle a bit. Why, of course you wouldn't know this town's secret due to being so young and naive, but I have known for many years now, in fact it is one of the main reasons I come to this village so often. Jiraiya told Naruto with a large smile on his face. He then leaned in closer to a now very interested Naruto and whispered in his ear, "This village is home to the best brothels in all of the Land of Fire." With the grin growing even larger even as he watched Naruto's excitement quickly change to disbelief and then anger. "So, you brought me all the way here just for you to go visit some prostitute. Damn you, I could have just stayed with my girls a bit longer and caught up to you after you wasted your time trying to hook up with some unfortunate woman." Naruto growled out at the old man. "Oh, I assure that they always love when Jiraiya-sama comes to town, Gaki." Jiraiya told him with a perverted chuckle and then grabbed some money out from his pocket and held it out to Naruto. "Now how about you go get us a decent place to sleep? If I come back tonight." Jiraiya told him, then let out another perverted chuckle. Of course Naruto just stared at him for a moment before angrily grabbing the money and stomping off away from the old man who just watched him leave. "I am sorry Naruto, but with the way you are right now you aren't ready to learn this part of my skills." Jiraiya thought with a small frown before heading towards a brothel. He then entered the building and ignored the smell of smoke, booze, and sex that permeated the air. Though his real challenge was ignoring all of the scantily dressed women around the main lobby who were doing their best to draw on some business for themselves. Still he walked past them while only ogling their bodies before finding a woman who seemed to be in her 40s and was clothed much more than any other person currently in the room. "Hello Margaret, how's business doing?" Jiraiya asked the woman with a smile on his face. "Doing great you old coot. The girls are bringing in so much more now that we don't have to worry about those damn bandits coming to try and kidnap them. Thanks for that by the way. I lost too many of my girls to those bastards wanting free fun." Margaret told him, then lit a cigarette and began to calmly smoke it. "No problem. It is the least I could do for someone who helps me with my business," Jiraiya told her, giggling perversely. "Oh, right, you are still writing those damn things anyways, enough chit chat, what do you want you old coot?" she told him, making his giggling stop. "Well, I was just wondering if my regulars were working today," Jiraiya told her with a smile still on his face. "Gee, yay, those two are in, but are you sure that you want them again? I mean you could easily go for some of the fresher girls here," Margaret told him while waving her hand towards the girls that were still trying to catch the eye of some of the males that came in the building after Jiraiya. "Now you know me. I love my girls aged like a fine wine. My regular is more than enough for this guy," he told her, making her sigh and lean on a nearby wall decoration. "Okay then. They are in your normal place," she told him, pointing to the hallway of rooms behind her uncaringly. This gave her a small word of thanks as Jiraiya passed her to the room he knew would be his. So, he quickly walked towards the room with a smile and perverted blush, never leaving his face even as he opened the door. Though quickly after entering the room he shut the door tightly behind him before pulling out a piece of paper that had a seal written on it and placed it on the door. He then put a small amount of chakra into the seal that lightly glowed blue before returning back to its normal black ink color. "Let's hear what you got." Jiraiya then ordered the two people in the room as he turned around to see an average-looking guy and girl in front of him with his perverted and cherry facade now replaced with a completely serious look. "Hi, Lord Jiraiya," the man told the Jiraiya. For those of you who didn't notice, this is Jiraiya meeting with his spies. After all, he is a spy master. Plus night at Hotel Plus. "You finally done?" Jiraiya mumbled out happily to himself as he walked to the room he felt his newest student's chakra coming from. "Now that I have heard from him, I have a decent amount of time before I need to meet with anyone else to get Naruto finally started on his training with the step that could be the most important." Jiraiya thought, still serious before entering the room and quickly saying good night to Naruto, who woke up ready to fight before he himself went to bed. The next day both Jiraiya and Naruto were back on the move, now heading towards the shore, with Naruto still annoyed with the older man due to not learning anything so far, even while he took time off to visit a brothel. Still he listened to Jiraiya and followed the man even though he yet again had no clue where he was going. In fact, he only got more confused when they finally reached the shore and Jiraiya purchased a small rowboat that was just big enough for the two of them from a small shack they found. "Boy, why do we need this thing? I mean, we are ninja, where could we possibly be heading that we can't just walk on the water to?" Naruto asked, more annoyed than ever. "Well Gaki, let's just say that we are heading towards a place where using even a small bit of chakra could be very dangerous, and leave it at that," Jiraiya told him before placing the small boat in the water and handing Naruto the oars. "Now it also will help you with your training now, seeing as you are rowing," Jiraiya told him with a small smile before jumping onto the boat. Of course this smile only grew a bit bigger when he heard Naruto's quiet mumbling and cursing, "Sit down on the other side of the boat. Now let's go. Just keep heading straight and we will eventually reach our destination," Jiraiya told him simply. "But where the hell are we going?" Naruto asked, now completely enraged that he has been kept in the dark for so long. Naruto, I promise you that within half an hour or so we will be able to see if this stop is worth our time. But for me to see if what I heard about this place is correct or not, I have to keep you in the dark to see what will happen to the unknowing person. Don't worry, I promise that if it gets dangerous then we will stop immediately. Jiraiya told him, completely serious. A serious face that was so rare to see that even Naruto forced himself to swallow his anger and trust his sensei for a bit longer. So, after this outburst they simply rode in silence, with Naruto struggling to keep his annoyance and curiosity buried, becoming harder with each stroke of the paddles in his hand. Okay Naruto, now before we go any further, I am curious about something. Jiraiya told Naruto finally after ages of rowing, causing him to stop and simply pay attention to Jiraiya. You said you have practiced your clan's water molding technique, haven't you? He asked curiously, getting a simple nod in return. Well, do you mind showing me how it is going? After all, we are in the perfect place. He asked, then added the second part while waving his hand at the large amount of water that surrounded them on all sides. Okay Iro-san, and Naruto ended up telling him with a small shrug, clearly confused but willing to do anything to get a bit away from the monotony of rowing. He then reached over the boat and began to focus on pushing his chakra into the water. This made the water glow and begin to move in tendrils all around the boat, going in various directions with no real meaning, before falling back into the ocean around them. Wow Gaki, you have gotten pretty good at that, haven't ya? Jiraiya asked with a happy smile on his face. Yay, seeing as it is all I have left of my clan, I want to learn as much as I can about it. Naruto told him, clearly proud in his clan's abilities. Really? Jiraiya mutters out while looking down at the water around them, before turning to Naruto with a smile back on his face. That is good. Now let's get back to this. Natho, now you won't try to push the boat using your water manipulation. Jiraiya ordered Naruto, who happily complied, seeing as he finally got some training in after waiting for so long. Though what he didn't notice was that while he was focused on molding the water with his chakra, a light glow could be seen deep underneath them before seemingly disappearing. Come. A gentle voice whispered out on the sea breeze around them, causing Naruto to pause and look around confused, while Jiraiya's smile grew. Home. It whispered again before the glow returned around their boat. But this time the glow seemed to form a curved line that seemingly glowed from the seafloor, and if someone was to be flying above that, they would have noticed that this glowing line curved around a decent-sized island that was pretty close to them. Though not close enough to be actually visible. So, it is true. Jiraiya thought, happily looking at his student, who now seemed to be zoning out. Come, lost child, to your home. A gentle voice called out yet again, though seemingly louder, to Naruto, and for some reason he used his chakra pushed the boat slightly off their chosen path. They then speed towards an island that had raging waters surrounding it completely. Course this worried Jiraiya, seeing as Naruto didn't seem to be stopping the boat, even though he was bringing them towards dangerous waters. In fact, he was about to try and grab Naruto and flee from the natural disasters around the island until the boat suddenly stopped. Naruto? Jiraiya asked, now partially confused by what was going on. After they were now stopped dangerously close to what was causing the water around the island to be so ragged. For in front of them was a long line of whirlpools that seemed to wrap all around the island. Whoa. Was all Jiraiya could think when he saw this, seeing as each one of these whirlpools were easily big enough to suck in a whole fishing boat. Course he was broken from his shock when he felt a large amount of chakra around him. So, he quickly looked back to Naruto, who still seemed to be almost in a trance with a chakra chain sprouting from his back. Naruto then suddenly launched this chain down into the water while not moving an inch. Meanwhile, even though neither one of them could see it, the chain was speeding through the water down towards the bottom of the ocean. Finally, after it reached the seafloor, the chain was dragged seemingly randomly around the seafloor until it hit a certain spot. After it hit, the chain dug into the muddy ground slightly before extending even more and slowly moving, as if it was stuck in the whirlpool that was nearby. Course this stopped after a few moments now that it was moved in a way that made the Uzumaki clan symbol. Up above, still standing on the boat, Naruto hadn't moved in a minute, which made Jiraiya worry a bit, so he began to move closer to the young blonde. Though just as he took his first step, another large burst of chakra launched out of the blonde that made the chakra chain glow dark blue. The color change was slow and began at the base of the chain on his back, but eventually moved until it reached the point where Jiraiya could no longer see the change down in the water. Just what is going on here? I know this was part of the plan, but the information said nothing about this. I mean, for Kami's sake, Naruto is constantly releasing a ridiculous amount of chakra. It is like he is launching out hundreds of A-rank jutsus one after another. But the chakra toll of that is beyond ridiculous. I mean, even I would die of chakra exhaustion after a few seconds of this constant chakra release. Just how much of a chakra monster are the Uzumakas? Jiraiya thought, shocked, seeing as well he always knew that Naruto had a lot more chakra than even the average Kage level shinobi, but this was insane. In fact, he was sure the only things that would be able to match it would be the Biju or the Jinchuriki if they were actively using the Biju's chakra. Though his thoughts were paused due to him now seeing an extremely bright light in front of him. Thankfully though the light died down enough for him to see, but this also let him see something that shocked him yet again. For perfectly fitting around the edge of the whirlpool in front of them was a massive seal that even he could not fully understand. Though after about a second the light returned and disappeared yet again in the same manner, showing that the whirlpools to either side of the first one also had the seal glowing around them. He just couldn't help but stare at the crazy level of Fuinjutsu in front of him that he even failed to notice Naruto bring up one of his hands and position them in a half-ram seal. "Hi." Naruto whispered out, and all of a sudden, the glow of the seas began to die down. Though much to the shock of Jiraiya, when the seals stopped glowing, the whirlpools themselves disappeared as well, like they were never there. Leaving the water in front of them somehow calm even though all around them the whirlpools still were going strong. How's this possible? I tried to learn all I could about seals, but yet this is far beyond anything I could do. I mean, they actually managed to make their own whirlpools of that magnitude and even somehow made the seal keep going for so long. Even though no one is here to feed it chakra, did they somehow figure out a way for seals to use nature chakra by themselves? But that is impossible. Jiraiya thought, yet again completely shocked. A mind said he was tucked in even as Naruto, who was still in a trance, pushed the boat to shore with his water manipulation again. Thankfully though they both woke up from their problems at the same time when they felt the boat thud against the shore of the island. What? Where are we? Naruto asked, now completely confused and actually winded, feeling like a large amount of his reserves were taken from him. He then looked over to Jiraiya, who was now getting out of the boat and stood on the shore. The motion he copied, but unlike Jiraiya, a seal appeared underneath his feet as soon as the both were on the ground that stole a small amount of his chakra before disappearing. "Well Naruto, let me welcome you to your home, well, your ancestral home. For we are now at the ruins of Izushi-Ugakure," Jiraiya told him, shocking the blonde, who quickly looked around and saw large piles of stone and buildings covered with moss all around the island. "Welcome to the island protected by seals so strong that when they were attacked the island's own protection was strong enough to claim the lives of nearly half the invaders. In fact, the only reason I even attempted to bring you here was the rumor that I once heard," Jiraiya told Naruto, who instantly went from looking at the island in wonder to being completely focused on the old man. "Rumor? Yep, you see, your mother told me that her village had nearly impenetrable walls that only opened by a key seal that each person living on the island fed chakra to. An idea that made me wonder how Uzumaki like you, who were born off the main island, would ever be able to go to their clan's home. She then laughed at me and simply said that when the seals recognize a member of the Uzumaki family, they will know what to do. Something that has always confused me until now. Well, I am still confused. Hope it worked," Jiraiya explained to Naruto, who now looked at him with wide eyes. "Wait, you mean that I somehow had a seal activate that made me zone out like that and deactivate the defenses?" Naruto asked, shocked only to see Jiraiya nod his head. "Yay, when I first had you use your chakra we were close enough to what I heard was the range of the seal so that it could figure out that you were a clan member. In fact, I think that seal when you took your first steps onto the island was either the same seal or another one that put you into the database of clan members or something, so I guess you won't need to do that again if you ever come back," Jiraiya told Naruto with a shrug. "Really?" Naruto asked, completely shocked. "Well, that is what I am taking away from it. Your clan seals surpass even my knowledge," Jiraiya told Naruto honestly. "Anyways, let's get to the real reason we came here, which is to see if we can find any more information on your clan's jutsu and maybe even some training scrolls. In fact, who knows what we may find," Jiraiya told him, excited. "Now let's get started," he happily called out, just as excited as Naruto was, seeing as there possibly was new information even for him to find, and began to walk towards the ruins. Of course, after hearing this, Naruto was just as excited and quickly ran ahead of Jiraiya to get there first, causing the old man to shake his head. "Better be happy now, Naruto, seeing as when your actual training begins, you will only be cursing me after all I have to make you at least a higher rank threat in only 3 years," Jiraiya thought with an evil smirk, but then refocused on his current task. Konoha, Haku. After Naruto left, Haku already began missing him after waking up without the warmth of him next to her. So, instead of getting out of bed to start the day, she wrapped herself in a blanket to try and enjoy whatever warmth she could get. After all, warmth is something that all ice users couldn't get enough of seeing, as their very chakra nature made them cooler than regular people. "Naruto-kun, it hasn't even been a full day yet, and I already miss you and the wonders you have put into my life," Haku thought sadly with a small frown on her face. A frown that she didn't let stay long and instead simply began to get ready. After that, she quickly ate a small breakfast before heading to the hospital as fast as she could without actually running there. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the story. If you did, please like the video. Also consider subscribing and sharing this with your friends. This will really mean a lot for me. I'll see you in the next one.